This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to Winning Saturday Night. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you are all doing and living well. Busy night here in the tubes and around the streaming community. So we are going to do Winning Saturday Night and have a good old time. We got good news coming up, good news of the week, and funny videos and maybe some more stuff. But here we are, off and running. Thank you for dropping those links, Wolfram, and Wolfram wipes his paws, Lupson and howls. And there's Shelly because she just can't get me out of her head. Yeah, how you doing? How you doing? All right. We are off and running. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you had a good week. Hope you have a good week coming up. All kinds of good news happening. Life's like a roller coaster, isn't it? It goes up and goes down. So when you get to the top, it's heading down, right? That's the way life goes. That's what we got to do, though. We got to take the ride. That is living. Living is what we do. So, yeah, we do all the hard work. We do all the good work during the week. And on the weekends, we check in the good news. We just chill out and have a good time and talk. I hope you guys will join us. But let's first, for the duration, I know there's a lot going on tonight, so I hope you'll make some time to hang out here and there and everywhere. But thank you for the YouTube members scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Thanks to each and every one of you for making it happen. I do appreciate it. And of course, you get that free super chat every month. It's always waiting for you. Hey, Kaiwan Calendar, how you doing? I told Caitlin on her Zoom call, I might watch one of you work on the radio. Are you talking about? I can buy Wall Street when you will start talking about Occupy Wall Street. When will I talk about that? Was it 20 minutes? Was it 20 minutes or 20 hours ago? You were talking about the socialists. Who knows? I watched a really good documentary this week. Well, it's kind of it was an interview. I watched the interview with Tucker Carlson and this dude. The name escapes me right now. Let me see. I posted this. I think it's on my watch later list. Let me see. Oh yeah, ex-CIA agent on capturing Che Guevara, who truly killed JFK, and election predictions. This guy, what was his name? It's a good interview. You can learn a lot. I definitely learn a lot from this guy's perspective. His name was Felix Rodriguez, and in that he talked about how he knows what it's like to live in socialism. And it's horrifying, and he fears for this country, and he says that this election coming up is very critical to us, maintaining order and not falling into socialism. So you probably would enjoy that, Kaiwan. Tucker Carlson, ex-CIA agent on capturing Che Guevara. If you watch that, you'll hear him talk about it. He grew up in socialism, so he knows what he's chatting about. He had some very interesting things to say. Let's see. Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, you have to kind of go back in time for that one. The history. I went down to Occupy Wall Street for a night in Atlanta when it first started up, because we were going to go down there, and originally when it started up, because they were talking about Wall Street, we're like, well, why aren't you talking about the Federal Reserve? Because the Federal Reserve funds Wall Street. Why not go to the root cause issue, right? Because the Ron Paul revolution was on top of it already. And we're like, well, if all these people are excited about this, maybe we can get them to just take one step further down the ladder here, or up the ladder to the Federal Reserve System, and we could together, be working towards ending the Fed, reforming the Fed, whatever you want to do with it. Back then it was in the Fed, and that would certainly put a damper on the Marxist intent, and that was going on with the globalist corrupt establishment that has been ruling over us our entire life. But yeah, but as far as Occupy, when I was down there, it's really just what you're seeing from the pro-Palestinian protests. I mean, this is a bunch of people that are being directed to go out there and disrupt, but they weren't over the target, were they? They were kind of like just slightly off the target. And then, of course, if you listen to V Radio talk about his days in Occupy, like I said, I went down there, and I'll never forget when I was down there. Whereas I was checking it out and I was trying to talk to people about the Federal Reserve, they weren't really catching on to it. They weren't sophisticated in that manner. They were out there for something, but they didn't realize what it was. That's my impression, and they weren't very hospitable to people who were talking about in the Fed or even considering, a Republican like Ron Paul, even though Ron Paul wasn't a typical neocon, was not a neocon or a neocon rhino, establishmentarian, if you will. He was not part of that at all. And so we were offering the alternative, as in if you help get Ron Paul in, we'll get these rhinos and these neocons out of there. And Trump ended up coming along and picking up the mantle and running with it and doing a fantastic job of clearing out the GOP of these people as best as he could the first time around. I think we're still getting them out of there. But we got, like I said, it took generations for them to get there. It'll take, a generation or two to get them out of there. And we realize this is a long-term game here we're playing. But the thing about it is that they were so, they were mostly college kids and other people like that, and then other people that would just latch on to it. That caused a lot of disruption and I guess maybe what the original intent was, but we never felt like it was an honest movement, right? We felt like it was kind of a little bit of a copycat of what was going on with the Ron Paul revolution. And that's the same with the Bernie Sanders thing. That was kind of a copycat of Ron Paul too, just for leftists, right? They saw how effective it was. They saw how effective Ron Paul was. And so they had to,
Hey, everybody. Oh, here he is. I jumped in.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I had a little bit of a technical issue here on this end, so thank you for jumping in. I do appreciate.
No problem.
Why are you echoing?
I am.
Oh, you're not muted in Discord. I gotcha.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Cylon.
There you go. Sorry about that. I forgot about that.
Where did I cut?
All right, well, you're here.
Where did I cut off at?
I don't know. You binged, and I went, oh, and that was it. So I was too busy.
Hey, Thomas.
Jumping in. So let me jump back out now that you're here, but I'll keep it open just in case.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Bye, guys.
I don't know. I was talking about Occupy, and I was talking about answering Kyle one there about the Ron Paul revolution and how we went down there to try to get people to get on board within the Fed, and they weren't having it. And then I remember being there. I was there at this is down in Atlanta. I was there for the night that they voted to occupy. So I actually voted to occupy Atlanta, even though I was just like, okay, whatever. But I was like, I want to see where this goes. But I remember sitting there, right? And it takes forever because they're doing this mic check thing and they're trying to get people to finally going to do it. If anybody has anything to say it. And this scrawny little Weasley looking white dude that was sitting there with his legs crossed and holding his knees, I remember him just raising his hand and he goes, I don't think we could take a vote because there's not enough black people here. And I was like, we're in the middle of downtown Atlanta. I was like, there's no walls up. Anybody can walk in. Everybody knows what's going on. I was like, if they're black, if they wanted to be here, they'd be here. And so I actually countered this dude. and it's like everybody repeats what you say when you're down there. So you have to talk in like phrases. And so I basically said what I just said right there. I was like, it's an open invitation and everybody can come if they want to. And if they wanted to be here, they would. So go ahead and vote, you know? But by the time I got to the end of it, people were kind of like not repeating me as much. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I just remember that look on that dude's face. He was just like so weaselly. And he was just like, yeah, we can't vote. There's no black people here. We're in the middle of downtown Atlanta. What's up, Jacob? How you doing, man? I don't know if people know this, but black is the majority here. It's not like, so, you know, if you're any other shade, if you will, then you're not in the majority here in this area. So yeah, I thought that was weird. And again, I talked to the dude, one of the dudes that was organizing it, and you could see the little activist commies running around. They all looked the same, and they all knew the drill. Like they were directing things in a lot of ways. And you know, I just remember this one dude. He was stereotypical. He was some sort of pudgy dude. He had his little backpack on. He was just moving around, and he had his little black frame glasses and his beard and his, you know, he looked like a typical communist, right? But he was running around there directing a bunch of stuff. And I ran into this one guy who came and talked to me. I don't think he was being sincere, but he was talking about how, you know, his parents are Ron Paul people. And yeah, we're totally Ron Paul people. I don't know what's going on with these guys. And, you know, kind of just like trying to, you know, reel me in. Then I ran into some like some scruffy hippie dude that recognized me from playing music. And he was a weirdo. I don't know. I was down there with a couple other Ron Paul people. Like we were met up, and we all got the kind of the same feel. And this one dude said he was going to go back and like bring sandwiches and stuff the next night. And I talked to him. He goes, "Yeah, they were all assholes to me, really." So yeah, that was my experience with Occupy. I never felt like it was real legitimate. I thought like it was a left counter kind of like disruption, destabilization protest. But if you talk to V Radio will tell you he was down there and part of it. He'll tell you that it started out, it started out with good intentions, and then the identity politics got mixed in there, and then of course that would be the Marxist influence. That would be the people who were co-opting it or who had directed it to begin, and then were there to co-opt it. Depends on how you look at it. But that was my experiences with Occupy, and like I just never really thought of it as a legitimate thing. A lot of people took it seriously, but I was like, you know, what did it accomplish? What did it do? It didn't accomplish or do anything except for train a bunch of people into Marxist ideologies and identity politics. You know, back then, woke wasn't even a thing yet. We were still like teetering on that whole political correctness bullshit, right? And like I've been showing you guys on Unveiling Reality, political correctness was just a stepping stone to wokeness. So as we trace this wokeness virus we got going on, it's just a stepping stone. And hello, guys. So many people came in since I started talking about that. Kaiwan, always great to see you, buddy. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for mentioning me to Caitlin. I appreciate it. So thank you. Who else is it? Jacob came in. There's Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Heard you had a great fundraiser. That's awesome. Hope that helps you out. And let's see. There's another fundraiser going on tonight. I was actually over at Shinagram's channel earlier. I was on panel with some of the people there. And let's see. There's Jacob over there. Okay. I was on panel with people that were over there, and we were raising money for Fiery Red and his treat. I guess I don't know if it's his treatments or was it just to help him with living expenses. I think it was just living expenses as he is battling cancer. So we wish him the best. And I will be redirecting after the show tonight back over to there. So have no worries. We'll be back over there, and who knows? I might even pop back in. So we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday night. All right, look, there's Wolfkinder. What's up? How you doing, Wolfkinder? Welcome. So happy you're here. Oh, by the way, I totally missed something, didn't I? I totally missed something. Let's do this right now, and I'll try to find the names. But oh yeah,
it's cold up there in Vietnam. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. When I try to get out of anything.
Shelly, Talking Trash and Truths gifted 10 memberships. Thank you so much for the 10 membership gifted, man. Thank you so much. Let's see who got these. It was way back. Let's see. Right here. Thank you guys for doing this for me too, by the way, putting this up there. Welcome to the winner circle. Kester Bunny, K Marshall. Oh, there's Indy. Okay. Independent Mini United. Danielle Wolfkinder. I bet that's got Wolfkinder in here. I bet. Melissa Joy, Sarcastic Leo. Who's Janus? And Whiskey 77. Thank you. Welcome to the winner circle, each and every one of you. Make sure you thank Jelly for that. And thank you once again. That was very nice. All right. There we go. 10 new members. So happy you guys are here. All right. So let me see where I live off my friends. See, my friend Lorna did the whole Occupy Wall Street thing just to disrupt it. I don't know what her deal was, but she was extremely liberal. Yeah, it made them feel like they're part of something. This whole, like, I keep going back to this, but this whole idea of getting out there and protesting and shouting in unison and all that stuff, it's just, man, the day is past for that, man. It doesn't do anything. It creates optics, and it really is just a chance for the establishment to co-opt younger people. I think that our protests now, our work now is here online, where people spend most of their time and get all their information. And to stay out of the BS, because there's all just seems so they're also manufactured, and they do more harm to people than good for the group, and it's more, for some, it's just marketing. Hey, Daisy girl, I see you looking in here. What have you been doing? You've been quiet lately. You can talk more, Daisy. I think it's just a place for them to I think it becomes very subversive, and it's just like you're just using them as pawns. It becomes destabilizing, maybe change the news cycle. It's just whatever useful point it has, but it's always divisive. It always brings out, you have to bring out the police, and you have to do all that stuff, and people get that idea that we live in some kind of police state and some great show of force and all these little catchphrases they were using. In fact, we caught them during the pro-Palestinian protest, that they kept for the one in New York City, Columbia. I think it's Columbia, right? New York City. They kept using the same phrase. They kept trying to inject the same phrase, a show of force, even though they were doing it in the right way, because they didn't have any incidents there. They went in there and made their arrest, got out of there, no incidences really. And but they kept trying to grind that one narrative down. We went to another stream, another like news agency talking about it, and they were using the same terminology. Well, wouldn't you agree? This is a big show of force. And blah, blah, blah. Man. Yeah. So like I'm saying, these protests haven't been good. And who knows, even back in the day, they probably weren't very good either. I mean, it just seems like but we're told, go do that. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. This is good thing. This is free. This is people airing their grievances and blah, blah. Like they want the chaos. And so I don't trust it, especially when it's coming out of the mouths of the establishment, right? Go do it. You have your rights to do it. And, they're almost encouraging kids to get involved in this bullshit. That I don't know. I see way past that charade. I'm sure many of you do as well. All right. Well, you know what though? It's a Saturday night, and we're here to talk about the
spread the word, bringing joy and love to each and
All right, welcome to the good news of the week. Here we go. I had to reorganize my list here as I was playing because I messed it up. But let's see. We're gonna start with. Let's see right here. We're gonna take a actually speaking of protests and speaking of all that. Here's some heroes from the latest protests that were going on. Oh, here we go. All right, bring it up. Here's some heroes from the recent protests, and I'm glad to see people pushing back against these people because it needs to happen somewhere. I don't even understand how this is allowed to happen or even spin up the way it is, right? But anyways, it's good that red-blooded American youth are out there pushing back against it.
You got these massive lines this evening for the Charlie Kirk event. And then, of course, you have the Antifa.
I was
The characters, I should say.
born to rule the Seven Kingdoms.
You'll be ruling over a graveyard if we don't defeat Antifa.
Unbelievable, man.
Antifa.
These losers are hanging out there. They're trying to pounce.
See, yeah. So here they are. These people come out to protest against, Charlie Kirk or whoever is speaking, but they get the memo. They all come out there in the little uniforms with their trash can armor, right? And they try to disrupt and destabilize people, just trying to go about their lives.
The Umbrella Squad.
You don't believe him. I understand that. It sounds like nonsense. But I was there.
I miss Game of Thrones. I was say, hey, Kat, what's up? How you doing? Welcome.
At Charlottesville. I was one of the fine people on both sides, and I saw firsthand how much damage a bike lock can do.
I don't know what Antifa's going to do, but the guys with they literally
Write letters
have
all they want.
garbage cans. Wow.
There's no time for any of this. Look, while we stand here debating, Antifa will be filling socks with golf balls and snooker balls to make impromptu weaponry.
I had to change my jacket because you guys bloodied my jacket.
If we don't put aside our enmities, we'll end up covered in milkshake.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and in a hilarious scene yesterday at a Charlie Kirk event, which took place at the University of Washington. This is kind of the status quo for Charlie Kirk. He goes to the absolute most woke colleges for his meetings because he knows that he's going to get the reaction of a bunch of unhinged lunatics. I 110% support it. That's not me roasting him. In fact, Ben Shapiro got extremely famous doing that. He no longer does, but perhaps he should consider going back to putting himself out there because the clips are absolutely hilarious. It turns out that, of course, the super soilagers, the LARPers showed up and tried to intimidate the crowd, only to get ruthlessly mocked by frat bros and basically get run off the campus. And
Welcome.
as we've all expected, it turns out that most of these people are not students. They're, in fact, jobless 40 to 50-year-old weirdos who want to hang around on college campuses.
Right? Because they want to co-opt.
Militants
they want to add
try
members,
to
right?
disrupt Charlie's U of Washington tabling event, get mocked by patriotic students. You can see this frat bros confronting the goons at University of Washington, Seattle, challenging them to a push-up contest. These men are going to save America. So you can see these dorks show up with their umbrellas and their bike helmets, which was always hilarious to me. We'll just take a brief look at this.
They're challenging Antifa to a push-up contest. This is unbelievable.
What are you going to do pull-ups? Go do pull-ups on that tent. Right now, if you do more pull-ups than me, you go first.
Wow.
Go do pull-ups on
I
the
never
tent.
thought I'd see this.
Right
Antifa is being challenged by frat boys to
You
do
think this is
push-ups.
about strength? It's about ideas. And I'm built like this, and you're built like this.
I absolutely love it. I like how they have their
He's like, I don't
their
know, man. I did
OSHA
25.
goggles, their bike helmets, their face covered, their eyes covered,
Right, the
everything covered.
umbrellas.
It's my opinion. I know that, like, I do believe in it, especially online anonymity. But the second these people cross into law breaking, I know this is not wrong. I mean, this is probably wrong of me to say, but ooh, do I relish when people rip their stupid masks off and reveal their faces, because their faces always look very similar to potatoes. And it gets
Right.
worse. There are more clips I'm going to share with you.
Yeah, and right. And like most of these people they don't go to school there, right? So what are they doing there? They're to subvert, right? Or they're to destabilize.
So you see here, the super soldiers at the University of Washington were prevented from disrupting a Turning Point USA.
The way the quartering edits himself, it's maddening. You know, he goes to super soldiers instead of saying Antifa protesters. It's written right there on the screen. I mean,
Founder Charlie Kirk's
maybe
Q&A
he's
session
just
on
trying
Wednesday.
to nickname them.
Patriotic students
That worked.
challenged masked umbrella carrying super soldiers to a push-up contest. Frat bros are going to save America. The small group of protesters at the event were seen dressed in all black, holding black umbrellas and Palestinian flags. Because of course, whatever cause,
of course, right?
I don't have a life. I don't have anything to
Of
do.
course.
I don't have any bills. I don't have any responsibilities. So whatever the cause is that will give me an excuse to put on my little uniform and go out there and cause trouble, I'm about it. They attempted to speak over a megaphone, but were largely ignored as Kirk's event continued. You can see this. A heavy security presence has prevented super soldier thugs from disrupting Charlie Kirk's Q&A session. Here's another clip.
Let me give you the lay of the land right now. You got the Charlie Kirk event right here. I got another fan. You want to come on up? And then just a few feet away, you got these Antifa militants.
Look at that.
To call in reinforcements.
I just love how they protect themselves with these umbrellas. Like they think they're the Hong Kong.
What are they doing?
Guy with the Palestine flag.
Oh, like he's got flags. He's going to hand them out and stick in places.
I mean, this is this is peak loser, absolute peak loser behavior. Look, I want to be very clear. You want to protest for free Palestine? You're welcome to do that, 100%. But what ends up happening is we find out later after these clowns do some cowardly acts, which we're going to take a look at. None of them are actually even students there, and they're all a bunch of 40-plus-year-old men. Tightened security measures came in response to various threats made against the event from a Gaza camp protesters on campus who demanded the cancellation of the TPUSA event, claiming that a speech by Kirk would be endangering students. And you see this clip, and just like that, a group of super soldiers have shown up with a megaphone to disrupt TPUSA Charlie Kirk event at University of Washington. They're trying to dox me as well. One idiot is walking around with this cardboard sign with my address.
Yeah, I mean, there you go, right? They're out there doing online troll shit like in real life.
Own these people. What is it? I own these people.
Where are you from here? Oh, it's Jonathan Cho. Johnny.
I know we know where you live, buddy.
That's a threat.
Yep. Look at that. They're little. What they dance? If they broke into like a dance number with the umbrellas, then I might have more respect for them.
They're trying to
and that would be like 1%, right?
Docs.
Jonathan Cho.
They got 0 right now.
We got the wrong one. It's 1-6.
I'm not gonna let their address go.
Never one-on-one.
Oh, we have comrades. We have friends. I'm like you, Jonathan.
All
There's-
soy boys.
There's 4 of them. There's 4, and one of them's a girl. This guy's obese.
Oh gosh. These are grown adults, by the way, not even students. Not even students. They have no jobs. Instead, they're at the quad hanging out with students. Losers.
Yes, more of this. Walk right up to these losers, don't touch them, and mock them to their face. Tell them everything that they really are. Don't be afraid of them. They're not showing up at your house. They aren't going to do a dang thing. They're all cowards. University officials previously disclosed that representatives from the
And of course, they go right to this this word right here, right to the Zionist alert. They're always the ones that are drilled down into that weird conspiracy. They live by it. They don't know anything. It's just what they teach each other. They probably don't even know what the word means.
Anti-Israel encampment had engaged in initial discussions with members of the administration regarding the planned event. However, the Turning Point event had been scheduled months in advance and was permitted to move forward as originally planned. Well, you know what? I assume because it's called the University of Washington, it takes money from the state. It does not get to block the First Amendment. Ahead of Kirk's appearance, a call to action flyer circulated this social media bearing their Antifa logo, urging protesters to attend the event in black bloc attire and
It's like, oh, yeah, Zionism and Christian right next to each other. It's like, well, Looks like pretty much everybody's against you. So I don't know. I mean, they make up some of these words, right? Because it's, but really they always accuse you of doing what they're doing. So if, that's the way the Alenti's rules for radicals work. And that's what they all are cutting their teeth on and being taught, whether they know it or not.
Disrupt and reject and
Right,
oppose
Cameron?
Zionism and white supremacy and Christian nationalism. 4 people showed up. 4 in Washington, in a college town. 4, not 40, not 400.
That's what they're doing.
4.
They're blocking
4
for that
losers
reason.
showed up. That's all that had. I know they weren't at work. You see this wild encounter on University of Washington campus this evening?
There you go.
Less than 3 minutes into my assignment for Frontlines TPUSA, a whack job super soilder spotted me in the crowd. One soy boy jumped on my back, by the way, snatched my phone and threw it across the lawn. Thankfully, I got it back. Then some trans dude charged me and tried to tackle me to the ground. But as usual, I handled my business and left the scene only with a bloody hand. Unfortunately, the camera stopped recording, so I didn't capture the entire incident. If anyone recorded the footage, I'm sure that there's people that did. I'm sure that there are people that... I mean, look at these cowards. Here's their little encampment, right? Their little encampment. They don't get to keep people out of that, by the way. Oh, interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, that's where oh, look at that. That's where
right now by several members of this too. And
no, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen if that happened, although I suspect based on other footage we have from the event that it did happen. You see this, where is this? Much of their irritation, they have not been unable to put their hands on people to shut down events. You see this here, TPUSA Frontlines reporter. Here you go. The actual footage does exist. It did happen. You can see this. Got a little bit of cut under his eye. Again, Frontlines reporter, Andrew Cho, what was his name? Jonathan Cho, sorry. And his security were set upon by super soilers. Cops are called to the scene and now are investigating. I'm sure they will be released.
Saying they call everybody else racist and they're attacking the nation.
Statement from the university regarding the incident on Frontlines reporter. UW police are busy keeping the Turning Point USA event and other areas on campus as safe as possible. We take this attack seriously, and UWPD will be investigating these incidents. I doubt it. Frat boy got karate chopped. I mean, there's like these people are all LARPers. And they don't have the numbers anymore to be intimidating. Here you have a picture of the event completely
massive lines this evening for the Charlie Kirk event.
Completely sold out. Now, are there people there that
maybe that's real good news. These people are
protest
interested
or
in
something?
something
I don't know.
productive.
But certainly you have huge lines
of course
people.
you have
Not standing around being idiots like these guys.
Antifa. Unbelievable, man. These losers are hanging out there. They're trying to
It's hard to tell if
the
this is
Umbrella Squad.
all the same event.
8 of
just
them.
multiple.
And they have I love how they have trash can armor. They have their trash can armor out, folks. There's another trash can armor.
Going to do, but the guys with they literally have garbage cans. So creative. I had to change my jacket because you guys bloodied my jacket. It's all I say. Get over there.
I love it. I love it. Seattle, much of their irritation, has been able to use, intimidation and putting their hands on people to shut down the event. I mean, what an epic fail. What an absolute epic fail of epic
People getting tired
proportions
of
by
it.
epic losers. Shout out Frat Boy Summer. Keep it up. Keep humiliating these losers. Tell them to go get a job
Frat Boy
and be
Summer.
a productive
Is that
member
what
of
you're calling it?
society and not a professional paid protester. Oh, yeah. A bunch of them are paid. I hope you enjoyed this video.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
They're just chumps. All right. Let me take a minute here and get this playlist straight. So I have my correct order here. Yeah, this the woke activists. I mean, just throw Antifa in there with them. They're just like the thug layer, the thuggish layer, the we want violence layer of the same thing, right? They're all pushing towards the same destruction of society agenda. What's up, everybody out there? All right, let me see. I'm gonna save that for the end. Okay, that. I will just run down it. I think I got it right. All right. So let's go to the next one. And speaking of marketing, and speaking of how these protests and these groups are just marketing tools, again, right on the same page, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Tatum in the house to tell us about when he went on and dismantled an LGBTQ activist on Piers Morgan.
What you're saying is that the LGBTQ is a business. Is that
No,
what
I'm
you're
not.
saying?
I'm
You
using
guys are
a
representing
crazy
an
analogy to
agenda.
try and understand what you're
No,
saying about
you
how
don't need a
my
flag.
identity
You don't
as a
need-
gay man
Let me-
is not allowed because
It's
I'm also
Because
British.
it never ends, brother. It never ends.
But
You
why
guys
does it
can
matter
have
to you? It's only you
400,000
that can. Look,
colors
I know you
and
guys are all
twists and
really
turns.
jealous.
It's brought to you by Tatum.
Oh, did you hear the way this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Did you hear the way the guy responded? I think, I said it's good news of the week when someone stands up and we're getting our words out and we're able to put these people on blast, right? And show the hypocrisy and how little they know about what they're actually doing, right? But it's also to put on display for you guys the mind control that these people are under, right? And they would think that, oh, I'm perfectly normal. You're, la, 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 la. But they never see outside the cage that they're in. This is the tragedy of subversion. Yeah.
TatumStore.com. We got this shirt. Is bag born to be free. I mean, we let it go for about a year now, but you guys have bought so many stickers. We said we got a brand on.
Right.
Y'all already know what the
I tried to read out all the initials that go with Pride these days. I can't keep up with it. More and more people seem to get added to it. But it's a weird picture of this Pride flag. Let's take a look.
Oh my God. What a nightmare. That's a nightmare. That looks like a unicorn threw up, man. I mean, look at that. I mean, okay, look, this is what I've been asking for. Yeah, right? I know. It's like, this is what I've been asking about the entire time. Who is in charge of this group? Somebody has to make this decision. Now they got an umbrella. Look, what is all this mess? This is a mess. There's too many colors on there. Then you got a purple O here. I mean, what is this? Oh, sorry. My kitten just pawed that. What did you do? What the hell? There we go. All right. What is that? Who makes decisions? Where is the council? Where is the grand council of the alphabet mafia here? Where's the grand council that makes these decisions about how they're going to put their little occupied flag up here? And I mean by occupied as in, people forget flags have a meaning. Like when you hang a flag, it means that you that whatever that flag represents is in charge. It's taken over. Like when they would take over ships or take over lands, they would hoist the flag of the conqueror. It means you've been conquered by this army right here. That, and then no, it's just to show your support. Bullshit. You can get a t-shirt to show your support, but when you fly a flag, it means you've been conquered by whatever that is. And so make no mistake about it. When you see this or a BLM flag or any other flag flying at one of our government buildings, right, or behind one of our elected officials, it means that they have been conquered by this. So the flags have meanings. We need to remember that. We need to get back to understanding that and teaching that, and not allowing this barf, this rainbow barf all over the place, because it's ridiculous. I mean, the flag is as confused as they are. What the hell am I? Look at this. I mean, it's just, you got different shades of pink here. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3 different shades of pink. I don't know what that means. A couple different shades of purple. There's one there, one there, one there. You got yellow and a couple circles here, and then yellow and a stripe here. You got brown and black. I mean, I guess for the first time I'm noticing there's actually some white. Maybe that's gray. I don't know. Maybe that's gray for mulattoes. I have no idea what the hell they're doing here. And I don't want to learn about it because it's complete crap. I hope that they destroy this thing and they make it so repulsive nobody wants to ever use it. I mean, it's like, what is this crap? But honestly, tell me, guys, who is making the call here, right? Who is making? It's interesting. I didn't realize I'd done that. There we go. I just stop. It stops. Oh, interesting. All right. Who's making the call on these colors? Who's deciding these things? I want to know who the president of this organization is.
It looks like the
It's
old
ugly.
test
Stop.
card on television
Showing your age.
when everything froze.
It looks like
James,
a
what am I looking at?
pig
It's a psychedelic vomit mess, isn't it? What is it?
It's ugly.
I
Yeah.
love that it's got an umbrella, like representation for the rain in this country. Honestly, like I don't really get it. Like, I don't understand why we need to keep changing it. But what I do understand
Why
is that
do
it
they
doesn't
keep
matter.
changing it?
But it's fine. You know, that's the point with a flag. Like, we can change it. We're not stuck in our ways like straight people. We're not going to get upset by
But
the England
should
flag
we
being
change it?
redesigned.
Yes, you are stuck in your ways. You're more stuck in your ways than anybody else because your mind is closed. You know, absolutely closed. Just because you are attracted to yourself so much that you need to have it in your mouth, it doesn't mean that, you know, you have an open mind. It's really very closed, especially if you're an activist. In this.
Well, it can if it wants to. It's changed a lot over the years, and people continue
That's
to.
because it has no meaning.
Say again, Blair.
There shouldn't even
I
be.
said
There
we
shouldn't
can
even be a
change
flag.
it, but should we?
Well,
Sometimes,
but why
things
not?
are
I
okay
mean,
to
we didn't invent
There
the
shouldn't be
rainbow.
a
God
flag.
invented the
If you're-
rainbow. We use that as a
There shouldn't
symbol
be a flag.
to let we
There
use
should
that
not
as
be
a
a
symbol to
flag.
let people know that.
Well,
they were
actually, you raised a good
We
point
don't.
there.
We don't.
Officer
We don't need
Tatum,
to.
yeah,
We
go
don't
on.
need to do that. I
Yeah.
think, like, if
It
you're
is
an
weird,
American, you're all encompassed under the American flag.
That's
We're
right.
all Americans, whether you're gay, straight, blind, you can see, crippled. It doesn't matter. We're all Americans, and we should be accepting of one another. We don't have to like one another. We don't have to like what each other does, but we should be accepting. And that's the way that normal people believe. It's the trans and the LGBTQ AARP.
So wait,
that
are you saying that
hateful and
when you go
divisive.
past like a Ford factory and they've got like a big Ford flag outside or a Chrysler flag, or are you not allowed those flags because those flags don't represent?
So
the
you're
company?
saying, you're saying that.
Well, you're saying that I can't have a pride
spoke,
flag because
you actually
because
cleared
the
it up.
American
You
flag
guys
does the
are
job. So
the
does that mean all
LGBTQ
flags
is a
are banned?
business. No, what you're saying is that the LGBTQ is a business. Is that
No,
what
I'm
you're
not.
saying?
I'm
You
using
guys are
a
representing
crazy
an
analogy to
agenda.
try and understand what you're
No,
saying about
you
how
don't need a
my
flag.
identity
You don't
as a
need-
gay man
Let me-
is not allowed because
It's
I'm also
Because
British.
it never ends, brother. It never ends.
But
You
why
guys
does it
gonna
matter
have
to you? It's only you
400,000
that can.
colors
Look, I know you
and
guys are all
twists and
really
turns.
jealous that you don't have a flag, and so I know you're triggered.
have the American flag.
I know that you're triggered by.
Yeah, we're real jealous. We got a flag. It's called the American flag.
I do.
finally
flag,
designed
baby. No,
you
no,
Thank
no,
you.
no,
a
no.
flag
I know
with
this
your
is
face on it.
overseas.
I actually
that you can
no.
proudly wave
Thank you.
wherever you want. And
Thank
guys,
you. I'll have
I'll
that.
send you one as
You
well.
can't even
I know.
describe. You can't even describe
Thank you
what
very
the
much.
flag
That's your
means.
straight.
I actually,
You
what
can't
I
even
want,
describe
I
what
want
the
a
flag
straight. I
means.
want a straight flag. That I
Esther,
can
do
wave
you want one
proudly
as
as
well?
a straight
I'm
man.
all right.
I've got a
Thanks.
straight flag.
I'm
for you.
fine.
Flag.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh no.
There we go.
There you go. Do you feel like you're part of it now? Do you feel happy?
Here's what I feel is the reason they keep changing the pride flag is the definition of what it is to be LGBT has now been increased to so many ludicrous numbers of digits, numbers, and that is nobody knows what it means. It has lost
Well, then
all
why are you getting
meaning.
so upset
Nobody
about
does.
it?
It used to be just lesbian
Nobody
and gay.
does.
We get
And-
it. Okay, well, I'm happy. Be proud. I'm proud of you, right? I'm proud of anyone who wants to come out as gay. But here's the thing: we are about to enter Pride Month again.
Yeah, I can't wait.
A whole month of shouting about being gay. Why?
No,
Should be
it's
a
about
nightmare.
shouting about being LGBTQIA+.
Nobody tells you you can't. You're gay every
Here's
day of
the
the
thing.
year.
Every
The fact
day,
that
every
they're
day.
Proud
in
and
March.
proud. Why do you need a whole special
I agree with
month?
that, Judge Ben.
Where's my month?
You don't need a straight
The
month.
fact
Why?
that
I want a
they're
straight
doing
month.
is
You know
it
I'm
why?
now the most
Why?
marginalized member of community.
You know
Yeah,
why?
no doubt.
Because the rest of the year is always straight. Every day is straight. We live in a
Any-
society that is
Are
straight.
you serious?
It's a
That's not
straight
even
jacket.
Good.
and
What?
When was the
That's how
last
you were
time
born.
anybody spoke up?
Again, more of the brainwashing here, you know, of every day straight. That's, you know, every day is white history. Every day is this. Every day is that. Right? He's totally missing the part that we all live in the same country. You know, every day is like that. Well, Pierce nailed it in the fact that he's, well, you're gay every day. Every day is gay for you. So why do you need to have that? Why do you have to have because it's marketing. We know why. It's marketing. It's heavy marketing everywhere. And they disguise it like it's some kind of prideful thing, right? When they're running around shouting the same shit every day of the year.
That's how you were born.
Middle-aged, straight
So
white
good.
guys
Do
like
we
me.
need you? Because you're the patriarchy, Piers.
We
Stop
are.
this
There's no patriarchy. Again, the mind control of this thing over here is just astounding. And again, that's why I put on display. Hey, HT, how you doing? Elephant, what's up? What's up? How you doing? Yeah, I mean, just to demonstrate like what a box this person lives in, how ridiculous he is to others, and that he's just out there marketing and recruiting. That's all he's doing.
That's
No,
not
we're
argument.
not.
This
We
stupid
are actually the minority now. We're the minority group. in
Right.
this
Well,
country.
I'm finally.
Let me
finally.
move on. Let me move on. I want to start with you, if I may, Officer Tatum, on this. Is celebrity Trump derangement syndrome back? Kamala Harris, 2 clips. Joe Biden on Howard Stern, Kamala Harris on Drew Barrymore, which is one of the most revolting things I think I've ever watched on global television in the history of television. Let's take a look at Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United
And you
States,
watch
on
yourself
Drew Barrymore's
back, so
show.
that says a lot.
I've been thinking that we really all need a tremendous hug in the world right now.
Yeah.
But in our country, we need you to be Mamala of the country.
Oh my God. God. Drew, you were so cute in your younger years. Now you're disgusting. I can't believe she's sitting there saying that. Well, no, I can't. It's just ridiculous. Man, DoorDash didn't bring my cookies and cream milkshake. So upset. They got the straw in the bag, but the milkshake is missing. What the heck? Yeah, I mean, look at this. Why don't you just go ahead and kiss her, Drew? You know you want to.
Let me bring it over to Tatum. Have you ever felt more nauseous watching television than in the Mamala moment?
Oh, God.
No, I mean, these people are absolutely
It's
ridiculous. I
unpopular
want to say
vice
another
president
word, but I'm
ever.
trying to be a good Christian. But, this woman, they're all fake. They're all fake. Kamala Harris is now the first Black vice president. When she was, elected into the Senate, she was the first Indian senator. I mean, these people are absolutely ridiculous. What does Mamala mean? Is that going to help with inflation? Is that going to help bring down prices of groceries? None of that matters. Are they going to secure the border? None of what she's doing on the couch with this other lady, Barrymore. I mean, they got a big old couch. Why are they sitting right in front of each other? These people are absolutely ridiculous and virtue signaling.
Well, it's not Mamala's fault.
it's-
She didn't ask to be called that, right? She just said that her stepchildren call her that. And then Drew was
Well,
like,
it's two ignorant folks just saying rubbish. None of that really matters to the American people. I don't know why they're even having a conversation about it.
Nailed it. Broke it. Yep. Thomas, what's up, man? What you got? Have you seen the Freedom Tunes vid about the failing flag company being why the flag keeps changing so they keep the sales rolling in? No, that sounds pretty good, man. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. That flag is just dumb. I mean, it's gone from whatever to slightly offensive to ridiculous to just the epitome of stupidity, right? Just I mean, come on, man. And they're like, I'm not going to buy another sticker and another shirt, another flag. They're even grifting their own people, man, with that stupid flag, man. Let's keep changing it so we can make more money. I mean, it is. If you're going to, I guess, make money off them, that's a good way to do it. This is why I don't understand why they didn't want their own term for marriage, right? Why? I know why they wanted to stick it to the Christians, but honestly, they missed a golden opportunity for marketing and merchandise. Well, just make up your own word, call it garage or something, and garage. I don't know, but if you had your own name, then you'd have your own brand, and you could put it up on T-shirts and all this other stuff. Instead, they wanted to co-opt a word because that's what evil does. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so we're on the those people get theirs kind of kick right here. But I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Jerry Seinfeld, man, he's coming out bases. You know what? And he came out and destroyed Howard Stern. Now, if you guys remember, I do not like Howard Stern. He was one of Amber Heard's simps. He's a moron. He's garbage. And I've never thought he was funny or anything about him. I don't understand why he was ever popular. Even as a shock jock, he was ridiculously stupid. It was almost, I mean, look, even in those days when he was around, right? I wasn't I was running wild and free, but even then I didn't like his stuff. I just thought I tried listening to it. I'm like, this isn't even funny. It's just a bunch of just sexual innuendos and just trash. And then he just would get on there like a pervert and try to talk people into doing degenerate shit. And I don't think that was shocking. I just think it was subversive. Shocking is more funny, I guess. I don't know. It's that was just like, okay, some perverted dude is just guy has a radio show and he just sits there and tries to drool over people and get his little rocks off. But anyways, Jerry sticks it to him.
What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day.
And not the Quartering, but Jerry Seinfeld
is out on his kind of press tour promoting his Pop-Tarts movie or whatever. I think it's about Pop-Tarts. I haven't really had much interest in seeing it. I don't know if it's good or it's bad. I know critics are whining about it, so maybe that means it's good. It's just not high on my list right now of things to watch. But he took he went for Howard Stern's most vulnerable, his most sensitive. He brought up Howard Stern's most sensitive point with a expert jab. Of course, after realizing how much he hurt his feelings, he's now been backpedaling. But he said what he said. He meant what he said, and what he said is true. You see all these headlines. Jerry Seinfeld says he thinks Howard Stern has been outflanked by other comedy podcasters before issuing a groveling apology. No, what you said was 100% true. Jerry Seinfeld continues to make the rounds to promote his new movie Unfrosted when he took a not-so-subtle shot at Howard Stern. The 70-year-old comedian appeared on Dana Carvey and David Spade's Fly on the Wall podcast, where he wondered if Stern essentially invented podcasting. No, he didn't. He was a shock jock. There were shock jocks before Stern. He certainly popularized it. He was probably the most famous ever. But he definitely wasn't the only shock jock. How about Weenie in the Butt? Remember?
Okay, how about the Grease Man? Who remembers the Grease Man? He's kind of weird, but he at least he made stories out of his sexual innuendos. They were entertaining. He had sound effects and all that stuff. Was he? You remember? Yeah, you remember the what was the name of it? He was out of DC, right? DC Rocks or something. I can't remember what it was. But the Grease Man, I used to listen to the Grease Man. He was all right. It was entertaining. We all knew what he meant when he'd say like "hablu gaga" and stuff like that. He was hobbling her. She started hobbling me. We knew what that meant.
They're popular. Anyway, Howard Stern invented this, right? But we're better than him now. Howard is interesting. Howard is a great interviewer. But comedy chops, can we speak candidly? Seinfeld said. Spade said, sure. But Carvey said, no. Carvey added, well, he got Robin, and Robin's a big part of how he's funny, referring to Stern's longtime co-host, Robin Quivers. They're all great. But let's face it, he's been outflanked by some and yourselves. Absolutely. This show, comedy podcast, this is one of the best on air, he said.
Why was Robin funny?
You should have stayed at dailymail.com where he admitted, I really feel bad for what I said about my friend Howard Stern in a conversation with David Spade and Dana Carvey, talking about the glut of comedy podcasts. No, he absolutely meant it. The fact of the matter is that Howard Stern, I'm not going to pretend like the guy wasn't ever at the top of his game, because he was. There was probably like a 10-year run where there was nobody more popular. He himself, negotiated that deal with SiriusXM, which became, the absolute most massive deal that anyone had signed at that time. He went on to say, I meant to say that he must feel surrounded, but I said outflanked, which sounds terrible and insulting. No, he meant that. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to listen to woke Howard Stern prattle on about how everyone should get the jab and that you shouldn't have basic human rights if you don't. All right. This is a guy that has come out to say, Howard Stern says he likes being called woke. It's a compliment. I'm not for stupidity. He says Howard Stern is embracing being called woke, says he wants to be awake. I kind of take that as a compliment that I'm woke. Sirius XM host told listeners.
Hold on. So, woke was made as an antithesis to awake. That's how dumb Howard Stern is. That's how uninformed he is. That's how in a box his mind is. He didn't even understand the origins of the term. Because see, to be awake back in the day when wokeness was called political correctness, and we were all warning about that and what a slippery slope that was and where it would eventually lead. Hate being right about shit like that. But that's why I have a playlist, and I put out a video with a hashtag. I have a hashtag. It's too awake to be woke, right? Because when you're awake, you're not woke. That's the difference. So that just shows you, again, how ridiculously remedial Howard Stern is and how unsophisticated he is. Actually, has no business talking about politics or anything else. He's just keep talking about smut.
On his show Monday in response to YouTube personalities applying the term to him. To me, the opposite of woke is being asleep. Oh, yeah, real clever. Stern said, and if woke means I can't get behind Trump, which is what I think it means, it doesn't mean that. Or that I support people who want to be trans, or I'm for the jab. Dude, call me woke as you want. Stern explained, I'm not for stupidity. He continued, saying he recently received his 75th jab. By the way, he's still got proof. Just saying. He made a big deal.
He won't last
science.
long.
This effing country is so great. He said, I'm woke, MFer, and I love it. I want to read legitimate news sources. Here's how woke I am. I believe, in the presidential election, I'm woke, blah, 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 blah. So he ends up going on a complete meltdown. And if you actually listen to the clip,
Jerry, don't take it back.
Jerry Seinfeld was not kidding. Listen to this.
But good enough. Yeah. Howard Stern invented this, right?
Yes.
But we're better than him now.
Yeah.
Because Howard is.
I mean, what's there to miss about that? First of all, I'm not a podcast guy. I suppose I actually view my show on YouTube and all my platforms. I know that a lot of you out there are just passively listening. I certainly would think the live stream, there's a lot of people that are just listening. I guess my daily live stream at 5:30 Eastern, which will be linked in the pinned comment below. Please follow and tune in tonight. Joined by Melanie Mack. It's always a good time when Mac and Cheese are on the air. But I do think, there are people that just listen to videos, and then there are podcasts. I think, actually, in my opinion, the podcast boom is over. They were never more popular than they were during lockdowns, and they will never be that popular again. I think you see most of them, whether it's like Bert Kreischer, their Two Bears podcast is crumbling. It's basically turned into a 2-hour ad for vodka these days. Nobody, I mean, what about all those shows with like Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub and, Dalia, all these guys? Nobody even talks about them or listens to them anymore. Theo Vaughn does all right, and Bad Friends does all right. I mean, there's a couple, but there was a point where these guys were all on like 7 or 8 podcasts, and they were all massive. Now there's just 1 or 2 kind of hanging around. I suppose you could say maybe Kill Tony's a podcast in a way. Even that is kind of, some people think, is kind of going downhill a little bit. So I don't think that, Howard Stern did not invent podcasts. He did not invent long form radio. He didn't invent bringing guests on the radio. He absolutely popularized it. He took it to a level that no one before him had, and you've got to give him respect for that.
Interesting. Howard is a great interviewer, but comedy chops. I mean, can we speak candidly?
Sure.
Yeah, he sucks.
No. Well, he got Robin.
Well, he gets serious,
and Robin is the big part of how.
Yeah, they're all
funny.
great, but
yeah,
let's face it.
Let's be honest.
He's been outflanked by some and yourselves, I would say, is absolutely. This show is comedy podcast, this is the best one on the air.
Now he may just be, being kind to his buddies. I don't know how tight he is with David Spade. I suspect he's probably tighter with Dana Carvey. But no. Jerry Seinfeld absolutely, positively meant what he said. He meant the word outflanked. He meant every word of it. And this is the silver bullet for Howard Stern. It is the number one thing that bothers him the most, is that while he was pursuing being a Hollywood loser, the world passed him by and no one even thinks about his show anymore.
Right?
I don't know
didn't
what
know
his
he was still on air.
listenership
I had
is,
no idea.
but I gotta think it's declining every year, because anybody that is that active about, wanting to go out of their way to tell people that they think half the country is garbage or all this kind of stuff, like, I don't think that's a good business model. Now, do I think that there are like hardcore leftists that, watch my show? Probably not. There may be a couple, but I know there are lots of liberals that do. And I want them here. I want liberals to be here. I want people to tune in, and we'll probably agree on more things than we disagree. The podcast era, as a larger conversation, is an interesting one. I'd love to have a long form conversation with.
Well, anytime, Jeremy. Well, I mean, I'm not liberal, but I'd love to join you for a conversation because you got a massive audience.
Some of these podcast guys
You'd be fun to
and
talk
hear
to
what they
too.
think, because if you've been watching, like, all these companies are getting sued and going under, that all these podcasters hundreds of thousands of dollars for minimum guarantee contracts. The podcast arena is pretty dead. I mean, yeah, Joe Rogan's probably more popular than ever, but it should be mentioned that Joe Rogan, in his latest contract, went out of his way to make sure that he could then put his show back on YouTube and X and all these other platforms. I'm going to guess that he flatlined. I mean, he's obviously still extremely popular on Spotify, but he probably stopped growing because
happens.
I mean, I don't know. I know people love podcasts, so I don't want to like dig on them. I'll watch clips, things of that nature. But Jerry absolutely.
Okay, so let me ask you guys. He's getting ready to go back to what he was saying before. But let me ask you guys in the chat. Do you think Jerry meant it? I think he meant it too. I do. All right, let's cue up the next good news. So yeah, Howard Stern. I call him he's a total cuck. He's a total enabler. And I'm glad Jerry Seinfeld, at least for a moment, did some truth out to him. So let's see this one. Let's pull this one up. All right, so now I guess you guys have been following it yourselves, maybe lightly, maybe intensely, but there's a lot of trials going on right now with Trump, and they all seem to be falling apart, which is great because we all know they're BS and they're political witch hunt. They are the prime example of how corrupt our justice system and our government is right now. I mean, it literally screams corruption at every turn. There's nothing right about what's going on here. This is a total abuse of power and abuse of our system that we pay for by the criminals that have manipulated the system and kept themselves in charge for most of our life. This is a newest installment, the agenda going forward, if you will. It's these criminals that are rotting the system up, right? With corrupt individuals like themselves that are lackeys and useful idiots, right? And every walk of life, even from citizens to these activist groups are really just cover for destabilization and riots, to create optics, to create division, to create crises, to pull our resources and cost us money, to destroy private property, to hurt innocent people, to put our police in danger, to take them off the job where real crime is being committed. All these things, right? To our justice system, to our political system, to our business system. Like that's the if you imagine this this film or this creeping necrosis, right, all throughout our society. And then when it's at this critical point, it just collapses, right? It just in every way, shape, or form, right? And what we do is we try to push back and keep that from happening, and then reform it, to heal it, to help it regrow in a less corrupt manner, right? Back to what it's supposed to be, right? To what it was intended to be, to give it a real true shot, and then learn from these lessons and not repeat them. And then maybe perhaps move and evolve that way. We can't evolve with a corrupt system, because what they're going to do is collapse us into their own little idea of how we should be ruled over, right? That's why it's so important to fight back now. Whether you think this or think that or whatever, die with your boots on, man. And so these trials are just jokes, right? But like call it divine intervention, because call it right winning and getting to the tipping point of like we're no longer going to tolerate it. Call it whatever you want to, right? But these trials, these witch hunts are all failing. So let's take a listen. Look out, Mark Dice here. And let's take a listen to how Trump trials are not going as the Democrats had planned.
Kangaroo criminal court trial regarding Donald Trump's payments to Sloppy Daniels for the NDA that she obviously violated has been going on for seemingly months now. The Democrats have been dreaming about this for years, but it's not going according to their plan. As Time Magazine notes, Sloppy Daniels humiliated Donald Trump. She just took the stand this week and gave all sorts of salacious details about their alleged incident. She also may have helped his case, they note. Tell us, Clown News Network, how disappointed were you after she took the stand?
But the cross-exam, boy, her responses were disastrous. I mean, do you hate Donald Trump? Yes, of course she does. That's a big deal. When the witness hates the person whose liberty is at stake, that's a big damn deal. And she's putting out tweets, fantasizing about him being in jail. That really undermines the credibility. The fact that she owes him $500,000, she, by order of a court, owes Donald Trump $500,000 and said, I will never pay him. I will defy a court order. The defense is going to say she's willing to defy a court order. Why? She's not willing to respect an order of a judge. Why is she going to respect this oath she took? So I thought it went quite poorly.
And her former attorney, Michael Avenatti, who is sitting in prison right now on related matters, says that Sloppy falsified business records to avoid paying the Trump court-ordered legal fees, because you may recall the entire case that Michael Avenatti filed against Donald Trump for her, they lost. So she has to pay Donald Trump's legal fees, which are hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tell us, Jeffrey Lubin, who was rehired by CNN despite his little incident on the Zoom call with some.
You guys remember this guy? The guy started masturbating in front of his colleagues because he thought he was off camera. I mean, couldn't wait till the meeting was over. He's back on air, and dude, you can tell he has no self-respect because he's back on air. Hey, Lex, what's up, Lex? Good to see you. How have you been? Everybody say hello to Lex. Yeah, but so somehow this guy got his job back because CNN sucks, and they probably enjoyed it.
Some of his colleagues. Tell us how you think this case is going for the prosecutors.
Because Michael Avenatti filed this libel lawsuit against Trump that the judge in California said was frivolous. He awarded attorney's fees to Trump, which is assessed against the client, not the lawyer. The amount she now owes him with interest and penalties is $670,000. She owes Donald Trump $670,000. You can see why that makes someone really angry. And
and again, how is she getting? I guess it is about her, so she still has to go on the stand, I guess. But her credibility should be absolute zero.
There does seem to be a measure of injustice because her lawyer, who is now in prison for other reasons, is responsible for her being in this gigantic debt, which is much more than the money she made out of this whole.
Oh, yeah. Poor Sloppy. But the point that he was trying to make was actually a good one, in that she was a terrible witness. And to the jury, it's going to look, obviously, like she was trying to extort Donald Trump, and that this entire trial is a complete sham to try to pay him back for her losing that case and now owing him almost $750,000. I don't want people to get their hopes up, but there actually is a very good chance that this may end in a hung jury. Now, the odds of the jury as a whole all finding him innocent, probably 0%. There's a very good chance that at least one of them is going to be a holdout, not go along with this sham, no matter how long the judge keeps them locked up in sequester. He's going to have to eventually admit, likely eventually admit that it is a hung jury, which means that they will not have a conviction. Michael Avenatti himself admitted during a live phone interview on MSNBC that he gave recently from prison that he didn't want this case to be the first one tried because it's weak. Him and all the Democrats were counting on one of the other cases, like the classified document case, to be tried first, because that one they thought they could get him on, and that it would be more damaging because nobody cares what Sloppy Daniels has to say, or that Donald Trump paid this floozy some money to go away. But now there is even more bad news for the Marxist Democrats.
And meanwhile, there's another breaking headline involving the former president tonight. The judge overseeing Donald Trump's classified documents case at Mar-a-Lago has now indefinitely postponed that trial. Is there any chance this now happens before Election Day? Let's get right to our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, live in Washington. Pierre, what have you learned?
David, the likelihood there will be a trial in the classified documents case before the election is fading fast. Judge Eileen Cannon has officially taken a May 20th trial date off the calendar, saying there were too many pretrial motions and legal issues to resolve before a trial could go forward.
So all of their hope rests on the Sloppy Daniels case. And even if he gets convicted, his lawyers are obviously going to appeal it, which is going to kick the sentencing can down the road until next year anyway. Here's MSDNC having a hard time coming face to face with reality regarding a recent poll from independent voters.
Interesting in this polling was more independents said that they worry about President Biden weakening democracy than Trump, 53% to 42%. What do you make of this?
I find it shocking, honestly. I can't, make sense of that number. I wish I could. I wish I had some really great insight to it. But I don't know if it's an outlier or not, because the other numbers with independents and Biden are going in the right direction. So that may be it. But also, just one thing I wanted to add on to what Basil said.
I mean, what's next? Are they going to blame the fact that this trial is not televised on Joe Biden's poll numbers doing so bad?
Macho Kitty over on Rumble. What's up?
This trial's not on TV. You guys do a great job reporting what's happening. But if there aren't those images coming out of the courthouse, people feel like they know this story. We've heard about it for a long time. So it doesn't surprise me that they're not interested.
Well, thank you both so much for being here, Basil.
They can't turn the trial into the media spectacle that they hope, because the cameras aren't allowed in the courtroom. And so it's not damaging Donald Trump enough. What's your assessment, ABC? Always broadcasting crap.
And Biden seems to be struggling with key demographic groups that he would need to win, and win big, if he stands a chance of being reelected.
John, there is significant softness in the support for Joe Biden among core Democrats. In this poll, he's carrying black voters by 61 points. Well, that sounds like a lot, but he carried them by 84 points back in 2020. Latino voters, a very slight Biden edge in this poll, but it was a 21-point advantage in the exit polls back in 2020. And among younger voters under 30, we're actually seeing Trump with a slight edge. That was a big win for Biden last time around. It's particularly stark to see that.
Nothing. You can't trust these 2020 stats at all.
That difference among voters of color, black voters under age 50, far less likely in this poll to say they're supporting Joe Biden than older black voters.
Well, welcome to the Trump train, black and Hispanic voters. We've been trying to tell you for 8 years. And now even CNN is reluctantly having to tell old Joe some bad news about one of the most important issues this election.
So when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most important issue for voters. It's also true right now, Mr. President, that voters by a wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. The cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation, is actually down since you took office. Economic growth last week, far short of expectations. Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is...
He's so used to getting softball interviews, he can't understand why she's being so mean to him. Not to mention the whole situation over in Gaza with the left eating their own. And now Michael Moore is warning Joe Biden to pull the plug on aid to Israel or risk losing the election. And that was last week. And old Joe,
Like, don't worry, we're pretty sure we're going to try to stop voting and stop the counting in the middle of the night and readjust the numbers and then pull in a bunch of ballots we just found out of nowhere. Wow, any relation to Vivek?
is listening, and he now said that he is not going to supply any more weapons to Israel if they invade another region of Gaza called Rafah to, well, obviously ethnically cleanse it, but they don't want to admit that's what their plan is, and so they're just using generic terms about another major offensive in Gaza,
Exactly.
in the Rafah area.
Again,
and this is a very
what's on
nuanced
display?
situation because you can be sad about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. You can be opposed to funding Israel or their obvious ethnic cleansing plans for the Palestinians. And at the same time, you don't have to support the lunatic protesters on college campuses across the country, some of whom now are having a hunger strike in Palestine, like this woman. This is not a meme, by the way. I'm not going to play the video because it's just her rambling on and on. But obviously, she has enough reserves to keep this hunger strike going for years. And if you want to see some hot clips, commentary,
All right,
blog
guys,
posts,
thank you so
memes
much,
that are a little too
Mark, for that. Yeah, so it's not going well for the witch hunt, which is great. I mean, like I said, you call it divine intervention or any of that. And maybe it is, but good is winning, and that's what the good news is right there, And of course, we keep an eye on it. We all know what happened in Georgia with Vannie Willis, the very, very corrupt DA, and all her shenanigans being exposed. This is all. I mean, it sucks that he has to be the one to take all the brunt of things, right? But if anybody's built to take the brunt of this fight, it's him. And that's what I've been saying, since he first started running for president, is that he's built for this. He's built for this time right now. He's built to do this job in this time because he can take on all this stuff, and he can continually defeat it. He's got the magic, man. He's got the right. He's got the right profile to do it, man. He's everything just aligned correctly for him to be the man to get out there and what he's doing best is exposing corruption. That's what he's doing best. He's exposing the corruption, exposing the corrupt players. That's been one of his best moves so far since he got into doing this. Is that he gets to bring it to light. Now, if we didn't have this subversion machine, this establishment media, this establishment narrative predominantly dominating, it would get around a lot faster and people would be able to see this. I mean, because at some level, people have to, kind of be concerned about, if not themselves being faced with something like this, who they think their team is being faced with it, right? So, having an honest justice system is key to maintaining the stability of a country. And they're showing us, and they have been showing us for a long time, that they're willing to roll out the corruption on full display in order to get to maintain their power and to manipulate people into this false archetype of Trump. So this was interesting. A little bit of the liberal hive mind here. I thought this was an interesting story I wanted to share with you guys. It has to do with RFK Jr. and Trump, and how well Trump is actually listening. I think this really does show that there's going to be an evolution. There is going to be that Trump 2.0 that I was hoping for this round. I was like, he needs to be Trump 2.0 this round. He can't go back in there and do the same thing he did last time. He has to take a different approach. And I think that this is a great indicator that that's exactly what's going to happen. So keep fingers crossed. We'll check this out.
Well, friends, there it is. It's what I keep saying about Donald Trump. You know, they say he's such a bad and dishonest person, but bad and dishonest people tend to not be so intellectually malleable. They tend not to listen. They tend not to care. They just want to do what they want to do, what benefits them, while disregarding outside voices. I mean, that's your typical politician. Well, Donald Trump isn't the same. Donald Trump, time and time again, proves to the world that he's listening, that he's willing to listen, that he's willing to listen to the criticism and modify his stances or adopt new policy stances as long as he looks into it and agrees. And well, he's done it again on the issue of CBDCs, cryptocurrencies, digital currencies in general, and of course, blockchain technology. Donald Trump proves that he's listening and he's willing to pivot, or at least he's willing to prioritize something that he might not have prioritized before if it gains enough momentum and lands on his desk. We were just talking about this, I think,
And that's why I think Vivek is the perfect pick for VP now, because he's going to be able to do that, to give him those points, those topics, that information, right, that he needs, that is relevant. Like he'll help keep him focused on the right thing. I really think that he's got that talent, plus it helps him get the experience he needs. But the one great thing he'll be able to do is really keep Trump's eye on the right things at the right time.
2 weeks ago, and already he's responded. Let's take a look at what happened here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so a little bit of backstory here. RFK Jr. a couple weeks ago said this.
I'm going to put the entire U.S. budget on blockchain so that every American can look at every budget item in the entire budget anytime they want, 24 hours a day. We're going to have 300 million eyeballs on our budget. And if somebody is spending $16,000 for a toilet seat, everybody's going to know about it.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
And I released a video saying Trump needs to get on this kind of messaging ASAP. Now, of course, the context is considerably different, considering what RFK Jr. was talking about was using a blockchain ledger or log in order to give the American voter absolute transparency into how every dime of U.S. taxpayer dollars is being spent, where it's going, where it's allocated. But the little context and what they're talking about doesn't really matter, because my response to the video was Trump needs to get on this kind of messaging ASAP. He needs to at least make an effort to understand cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and why this technology is important to so many people, millions of Americans, and more importantly, why it's important for building a system of money transfer, transactions, and banking that's out of control of globalist powers and out of the hands of the regime. What I was saying was that Trump needs to make this part of his messaging platform, because of course the whole purpose of cryptocurrencies is self-governance, freedom, and individualism. That is the core ideology behind the technology. And boom, fast forward a couple weeks, and now this is what Trump is saying.
They are against it. Biden doesn't even know what it is. If you ask Biden, sir, are you for or against crypto? What's that? What that? Get me off the stage. He's saying, get me off the stage. No, he has no idea. But look, the Gensler is very much against it. The Democrats are very much against it. And I say this, a lot of people are very much for it, probably a lot of the people in this group. And I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it. And if you like crypto in any form, it comes in a lot of different forms. If you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump.
Now that is what I am freaking talking about.
There you go.
Donald Trump just picked up another voter group. All of a sudden, there's competition for the libertarian vote. And not just right-wing libertarians, but left-wing libertarians. And of course, this appeals to young voters. This appeals to the tech-savvy voter who understands why this technology is important, sees beyond the headline, behind the...
The funniest terminology I've ever heard is libertarian socialist. It's like I mean, how does that work? I mean, come on.
Fear-mongering behind the media FUD, where everything in crypto is a Ponzi scheme. There's no actual use cases. It's not a real technology. It's not a real currency. They tell you that, as literally every currency these days isn't a real currency, but just a piece of paper that people trust has value. This appeals to the people who get it, who get the potential. That's what's important. And also relevant to what Trump was saying, that's also what bothers the left so much about cryptocurrency. You know, people love to detract from cryptocurrencies, claiming it's the wild, wild west. It's unregulated. It's crazy. You're going to lose your shirt. Yeah. And all of that is true. I'm not going to say that that isn't, but it's fundamentally true because the technology itself is so pure in its form and functionality. A totally decentralized network where everybody is on the same playing field, where everybody has access, where no one person has control. It's an actual free market, a pure free market that globalist power mongers can't get their dirty hands on. And so no wonder the leftists hate it. They view it as a threat because it's something they cannot control. That's why Elizabeth Warren is always talking about coming after your cryptocurrency cryptocurrencies. And that, in my view, is exactly why, as those of us who are standing against big government tyranny and increased technocratic control of society, money, and information, that's exactly why we should be talking about blockchain and utilizing this technology even further, doing it the right way. See, that's what they're scared of. I'm not here to argue that cryptocurrency should be the absolute wild, wild west like it is right now. I'm not arguing for no regulation. I'm certainly not on the left-wing approach, which is regulate the frick out of it and essentially just turn it into another government asset. I'm also not on the full wild, wild west side. I'm on the regulated as any other currency or any other product side. Implement these technologies legitimately and apply rules and regulations that protect consumers while allowing the technology in its pure form to continue as a service for freedom-loving Americans and citizens across the globe. And again, that's essentially exactly what Donald Trump was saying. He said, quote, "I'm fine with it. I just want to make sure that it's as good and solid as everything else." And that is exactly what most people are looking for. That's what the whole hype around products like Ripple was, for instance, XRP. This idea that banking can be forever changed, that banking could be accessible and widely available to everybody through decentralized means rather than central banks and their little bank and banking minions. In my view, once again, Donald Trump stands on the side of freedom. Donald Trump stands on the side of putting more power within the hands of individuals. He's not saying we're going to come after your cryptocurrency. You're going to have to declare all the crypto you buy, and anybody with X amount of Bitcoin is going to be a target of audits and taxation. You know, that's the kind of thing that we're hearing coming out of Elizabeth Warren's mouth. He's saying you can have your crypto. You can buy it. You can transact it. You can do whatever you want with it as a free individual transacting in this business free market world. Trump is again on the right side of history. And this is the guy that they tell you is a fascist. This is the guy that they tell you is coming after your rights. No, he's the guy who continues to stand up for your rights. And this time he's picked up a new talking point. He's picked up new issues, which I think are going to help him pick up new voters, especially young voters like I keep mentioning. He continues to prove how intellectually malleable he is. He continues to prove to us that he's actually listening. When concerns were voiced about central bank digital currencies and their potential nefarious effects, Trump listened and took to the stage and said this.
But Vivek is great. He's really great. But he wanted this, and I'll give him full credit for it. It's very important, actually. I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
See what I'm saying? That's why, that right there is why Vivek needs to be VP, because he can do things like that. That's somebody that Trump didn't have last time. At least not at the level Vivek's at, if he did at all. I think that was one of the things that was missing from his first run as president. Let's see. So the deep state is making moves to stop people from following suit to continue to make the government pay for the pushback on their negative effects on our rights. From following suit to continue to make government. Oh yeah, I'm sure they don't want that at all.
He's moving with the times. He's paying attention. He's saying the right thing. He's standing in the way of big government control, big brother. And that is exactly why they hate him. And frankly, it's why I love the guy. Once again, he knocks it out of the park. This is an issue that's important to me. But obviously, the topic itself is a little bit controversial. So for this one, I ask that you leave a comment and let me know how you guys feel. That's pretty much it. That's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right. Now, the thing about crypto is that it has to be accepted, right? So a lot of people aren't, they can pay each other 1-to-1, I guess, but you can't buy things with it that much with it right now. You have to still 90% of the time or more convert it back to dollars. So it's, but that has to do with this culturally us changing, right? And it being allowed to accept crypto for payment, and that being a good thing to do for businesses. So I'm sure people are laundering in some way. They already launder every other way in the world. I think that maybe if they're doing it in crypto, it's 1-to-1, but they got the whole system to launder money through right now. They're full on whatever way they want to do it, whether it's laundering through foundations or through other means like that. That's some of their favorite ways to launder money. So yeah, that's a problem we have to address as time goes on. But what do we need to do that? We need a less corrupt system to work with. We need uncorrupted people in order to listen to reality and work in reality, and not some agenda, not towards some agenda. Work toward the way they're supposed to work, the way they're constitutionally empowered to work, for the best interest of the people in a real way, right? And not some kind of like tongue-in-cheek way, lip service way. You think chief of staff would be better, Judge Maddie? Is that where the daily power is? Well, maybe that's better. Maybe that is a better job for him. It's like maybe we get the idea that VP is because it has been in the past a stepping stone to the presidency is why I think VP, right? Maybe that's not the best move. Maybe chief of staff is. I tell you what, I'd be happy with either one. How about that? We meet in the middle, definitely. But I mean, what I don't want is that him to put somebody in there that the establishment isn't afraid of, right? Of course, he made it through 4 years. He's made it through 4 years again. He obviously has something going right. He's got, God on his side. He's got good people around him that keep him safe. Thank God. But, the part about the VP is you want to make it like right now. Like, I mean, that Kamala Harris is a perfect example. Let's impeach Biden. Let's get rid of him, blah, blah. And then you got Kamala Harris. Okay, never mind. Well, we know Joe's a puppet. We know that it's all, and he's fun to laugh at. So there's only so much they can do, right? With him. Let him keep doing that. That's why I said, I don't think he's going to bow out of this race. I think he's the perfect puppet. Then keep him on a string for a few years. And then maybe something happens if he gets reelected, and then they can slide in the VP up to president and then grease that wheel for another run of another puppet, which is easily controllable and will completely infuriate and embarrass the country, at least the base side of the country. Oh no, I read it. You're talking about how Elon and I didn't quite understand the tax law thing, but you said Elon was making the government pay for free speech by writing off his Twitter losses and taxes. Yeah. Let's see. Anyone wanting to make money on crypto from now, not financial advice, from now to November 27th, 29th, the time for trading, and it will not be good to trade again for about 3 more years. Yeah, it did kind of tank for a long time, didn't it? So you're trying to say, Eric, right now is the time to make some investing and things are going to go up. I used to do a lot of investing in crypto, and then when times got tough, I started using it to survive. So I wish I'd done more earlier. I wish I'd been smart like Madcore and been, when I first learned about Bitcoin, not thinking that $500 was too much. I should have done. I wish I'd had that insight that he had back then. And I did try to start mining back then, but I didn't really know how to do it. And it seemed like it was going to take forever just to mine one coin. And I wish I'd been a little bit smarter about it. I'm sure most of us do. I was actually trading in XRP for a long time. Somebody turned me onto that early on. But then it just kind of just sat there and tanked for a long time. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. And I didn't, I needed to cash it in. So I tried to get my money back on that as well. I still do have some crypto hanging out there in some wallets and some other exchanges. They're still just sitting there, but it was like some of these just novelty cryptos that I got into, trying to take the ride up, and maybe got in a little bit too late on. Should be even doing stuff like that. But anyways, it's okay. At the time, I had the money to invest, so it's not a big deal. And I'd like to get back into it. I mean, the thing about it is, like, if you had a couple $100, right, you could actually just buy some Bitcoin when it's low and keep it in a Coinbase account. And then as it goes up, you have extra money in there, and then use like your Coinbase card to make like small purchases, a little bit of something here, a little bit of something there. And you might make that money back as it's going up. So like, go trip to the convenience store, maybe fill up a tank of gas, whatever. You can use your Coinbase card, which converts automatically out of your Coinbase wallet. Right. And then if Bitcoin goes up, it will, you'll pretty much get that money back. Surprisingly, being VP actually hurts your presidential prospects. Exactly one city VP has been elected president in the last 150 years. That's George Bush, huh? That would be George Bush, because that's the only one I can think of. But Joe Biden, that's another one. So I'm gonna say there's 2. I'm gonna say there's 2. If I think back, I don't remember the vice presidents. I know that people, because they've been removed or were assassinated, got to move up as VPs, and then we have to take into consideration if they were reelected. I don't have that in front of me, right now, and I can't recall it. So, but I know there's at least 2 VPs that have been elected in the last 150 years. That, you know, at least within my lifetime. Let's see. If you look at the stock market history, it's been the same for many years. So the cycle is not going to end anytime soon. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, keyword sitting. Ah, gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. Sitting VP. Must read carefully. Must read carefully. All right. So I have kind of some little bit of rehashes. These are longer videos, but I don't want to go through them all. What I want to do is go through this right here. Let me see. I have little bits and pieces of these. All right, we'll pick it up right here with Benny. And we're just getting a little bit from Trump about a little bit more about these trials.
Eric likes Sugar Sean. And if you went to a UFC match, which we actually intend to do, we know when his next fight is, and your favorite fighter had their hands duct taped together and they were brought in the middle of the ring, and Dana White allowed not only like the fighter, but like his entire team to come out and start punching him, and he couldn't fight back, hands duct taped behind his back, you'd say, that's not fair. That's garbage. Why did I pay money for this? I think I might file a legal action. I think you've defrauded me. This isn't a fair fight. They've gagged Donald Trump for talking about this guy. This guy can wear a shirt of Donald Trump behind bars and fundraise off it, and Donald Trump ain't allowed to talk about it. So Donald Trump's appealing his gag order. So Trump break.
Okay, so yeah, this right here, I don't know what it takes to. I mean, we're gonna have to drop like an expensive super chat or something on Benny to get good logic on it. Hey, look, if there's one group of people I share an audience with the most, it's the good logic audience, right? That's why you see it on most nights during the week. If he's streaming, I'll redirect over there, because since I've been going, good logic audience has been one that we've shared. I've shared with him. So we got to help Joe, because he's put so much work and so much effort into ungagging Trump. Get some credit for what he's doing. I understand his frustration. It's like, this is how I feel about how he's feeling about what he's doing with his legal actions right now, and not getting any kind of recognition across. And he said the other night, he was a little bit, here, let me just do this. He said he was a little bit disheartened by the higher ups, the ones with larger reach, not being interested in this story. And he feels that they're kind of talking, they're just kind of talking the talk and not walking the walk. I understand his frustration. And I said to him, I was like, you know, this made no sense, but it just was kind of like to illustrate the point that we fight the good fight alone. I think I said something like Moses went up on the mountain by himself, right? So, and then what I meant by that is that, you know, when you are fighting the good fight, when you tend to walk your path alone, it gets frustrating. This is the same kind of frustration I feel when I can't get into higher up conversations with people, you know, like I mean, I'm sure I haven't tried, but maybe Benny Johnson. Why would he have me on, right? I'm just an avatar on the internet. But I have a lot of knowledge he could actually benefit from. I have a lot of experience and a lot of information that he might find really useful. Hey, there's Nacho Kitty on the YouTube side. There she is. All right. I'm glad you're over here so you can chat with everybody on YouTube as well. Now, see how we doing over there on Rumble tonight. Rumble is awesome. Rumble loves the old school watch party Sundays. Rumble loves Unrig the game. But the other, I don't get as much love for Unveiling Reality and Winning Saturday Night. And Winning Saturday Night, I can kind of, I guess, understand, because Rumble's a very more serious platform where people are looking for, you know, more for information than socialization, I would say, in most cases. And so, you know, maybe having a lighter hearted stream with just good news and some funny videos and some other antics isn't their thing, or maybe just for some reason it doesn't reach out to people. I don't know. There's something I need to figure out about my other shows on Rumble and how to get them more popular, because really Rumble should be loving Unveiling Reality. And I need to figure out how to get more people interested in that show, because that's really where they're going to get the most information. You know, but actually all of them are, but this is where you're going to get my take, my experience, and my decades of kind of being in this information war. And the things that I've learned, you know, that the rabbit holes I've been down and out of. That's really what it's going to be. So I got to figure out a way to do that. We got 7 or 8 over on, we got 8 awesome Rumblers over there watching along. Thank you so much. All right. So, he may. It's just really hard. It's really hard when you have, like, he gets up every day and puts on a show, right? And then they got to cut that up. He's got a staff. He's got to answer questions. He has a family. Like, it probably is probably close to the place where it never stops, right? He's constant. He probably means well. And then he's also being lifted up a little bit, so that's good for him. And I haven't been there yet. Which show? I was talking about, hey, Alpus. I was talking about my Winning Saturday Night and Unveiling Reality. Unveiling Reality show is the one I really would like to take off on Rumble. I mean, that would be the great one. It could be a lot of conversations in that one. I would hope the people that are seeking the truth will find that show and participate in it. But yeah, as far as the Rockstar Syndrome goes, I think I haven't experienced it yet on YouTube. I've seen it in the music industry, and I just know that when you get to a certain level, it all picks up really fast. Like, there's I'm guaranteed there's behind stream dramas he has to deal with. There's all kinds of ins and outs, and plus he knows how to run a business too. So he's running a business, and it might not leave time for smaller creators. And what I have to figure out is I have to figure out how to make myself as a smaller creator more attractive to be talked to by higher, streams with more reach, creators with more reach, right? So I can get known and get into conversations in the bigger groups, and that would be, that would help out. I got him saying he would arrange to come do an interview with me at some point. I haven't followed up on it, but we do have it recorded. So I did send him a super chat and tell him that I did use his material often, and I'd love to interview him someday. And he says, let's make that happen. So I got him saying it. It's a man of his words. When I decided to clip that and send it to him, hopefully he'll respond in kind. But yeah, but Good Logic is on the next level up from me, at least by maybe one or two. And he is putting a lot of effort into it. So to say getting Trump ungagged and not bring up Good Logic and all the good work he's doing, a little disappointing, but we need to help Good Logic in that area. And so if Benny's interested in the topic, hey, guess what? We know a guy who's right in the middle of it. He's written this paper up. And maybe it's just getting a copy of Joe's brief and sending it to Benny that will get his interest. I think that maybe that's the way to do it. And I know as far as other people go, there's people that are like Viva and Barnes who have more reach than Joe, and they can help them out. And I hope they do. Shelley's coming in hot. You can't. Oh, now I'm talking about the content, of course. All right.
Breaking news this morning has requested an expedited appeal of the gag order so Trump can actually defend himself against these mongoloids. Here we go.
Thank you very much. What Biden is doing with respect to Israel is disgraceful. If any Jewish person voted for Joe Biden, they should be ashamed of themselves. He's totally abandoned
Hear that, George Soros?
Israel, and nobody can believe it. I guess he feels good about it because he did it as a political decision. You have to do the right decision, not the political decision. But he did a very bad thing. I just want to let you know that we just filed a major motion in the appellate division concerning the absolutely unconstitutional gag order, where I'm essentially not allowed to talk to you about anything meaningful that's going on in the case. And
I gotta wonder if his attorneys or the people that are filing this, who's this guy next to him? He's like his mean mugging over here, as Shelley would say, mean mugging. He's just like, yeah, come on, bring it, dude. It's like he's ready to hit somebody. But I'm wondering if they got the idea from Joe. And I would say if they did, the right thing would be to reach out to him and join his suit, or at least give him credit for inspiration. That would mean a lot. That would at least say thank you for all the work and effort he's doing, because he is ahead of them. He did it first. He thought it up first. He did the work first, and he's been doing the legwork. That's what I'm saying. I feel your frustration, Joe, because here you are in your world, your legal world. You're out in front of it. You're innovative. You're ahead of the game, right? And then you're not getting invited to the party. And I understand how that feels. But let's keep fighting. Let's keep fighting. If anything, it's just to make a point that we need to all be working together. We need everybody, whether they're well known or not, if they're doing the good work, bring them in. We're one team. Let's go. Oh wait.
Many good things are going on with the case. It shouldn't have been filed.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
They had this morning the top legal scholars in the country. This is a Frankenstein case. They took a dead misdemeanor, they attached it to a dead alleged federal felony and zapped it back into life. So many of us are just amazed to watch this actually walk into court because it's not a recognizable crime that any of us have seen. It's Jonathan Turley. I've been doing this for 60 years and I don't understand what crime he's been charged with. Nobody understands this. I just don't get the crime. There's no evidence of any crime whatsoever. This is a sham. That's Alan Dershowitz. And these are people that they speak their minds. They're not for me, they're for justice. This is another one. This is without precedent in American history. Only with the desperation of President Joe Biden and his fanatic left-wing enforcers did it become possible to think about arresting and jailing their major political opponent. This case must be taken out of Judge Merchan's hands because he's totally conflicted. Judge Merchan is totally conflicted, like probably no judge has ever been conflicted before. Here's another one, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. His prosecution of former President Donald Trump violates both the federal and state constitutions. This is a prosecutor making it up as he goes along. Due process worthy of the names does not tolerate that. So these are statements. This is Andrew McCarthy made that statement. Highly respected. A judge is allowing wide scope of information that has absolutely nothing to do with the case. That's Rebecca Rosewood on Fox News. Today we have Rick Scott here, Senator Rick Scott. We have other politicians here. We have many people in support. The outside of this building is closed down like Fort Knox. Nobody's ever seen. We have so many police down here, New York's finest, and they are New York's finest. They're just told what to do, but they don't have them at Columbia. They don't have them at NYU or any other places. This is like an armed camp down here, and you have nothing to worry about. Believe me, your problem is from the left. It's not from the right. Big problem from the left. It's from within our country. That's in my opinion, a bigger danger than China or Russia. You have it from the outside and you have it from within. From within is a bigger danger to our country, and it's from the left, not from the right. But Rick Scott's here, and he said you can't go after political persecutions. This is a shame. This should not be happening in our country. And Senator Ted Cruz put out a very strong statement about attacking Donald Trump and the American voter. It's an attack on both. This is purely and simply election interference. There is no case. So that's the way it is. But here we sit after 2.5 weeks, and I think you'll see some very revealing things today. And I want to thank my lawyers. They've done a very good job, and I'd rather thank them after it's over as opposed to now, because we don't want them to get carried away. There's no case. Should have never been brought out. Alvin Bragg didn't want to bring it. Cy Vance didn't want to bring it, and he didn't. He left. He didn't bring it. Everybody's looked at it. Southern District didn't bring it. Federal elections didn't bring it. It's also a federal case, not a state case, which they're not allowed to do, but these are minor details. So I just want to thank you for being here, and we'll see you later in the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Maybe this guy, hold on. Maybe this guy here should be VP. Just stand behind him and look angry. There you go. Don't mess with him. I'm right here. I'm the VP. Damn it. Okay, so Joe contacted them. Yeah, I know he's been reaching out. They had other things to follow first. Yeah, I understand. Now Barnes got in good with Trump, didn't he? He claimed to, at least. He also said that DeSantis was a lock for VP. So I don't know. I'm still, that's back into the realm of possibility now. So maybe old Barnes was right all along. I don't know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. I should always sort of let you know when it's going to be a longer clip. The show. The policy that we will have on this program. That was Donald Trump from this morning. He did break the news that they are now appealing to the removal of his gag order. But I always try and explain that it's going to be a longer clip because we're not going to censor the president. Right?
That's right.
Like everyone else.
That's right.
This is the tactic now. When we watch these tactics, we have a singular superpower on this program. We're live. We pay attention. Pattern recognition. This is what we do here. And so the pattern that we've recognized is that in 2016.
This is exactly why I think that me and myself and Benny would make a great conversation.
Less so in 2020. but never in 2024. The strategy has been never let Trump speak.
Ben Carson,
Don't let him
that'd be
on the
good.
airwaves. Don't let him talk. We have too many examples to line up for you, but you'll notice every single time Donald Trump gives a speech, CNN cuts away, MSNBC cuts away. And these people, the pundits immediately begin pontificating about like, oh, this is what Donald Trump meant. Oh, this is what he meant. We're not allowed to let him speak. We won't let him speak. We have a clip. Let's load up this clip. It's from this weekend. It's amazing. On MSNBC, there's like some
A little bit more of this.
You know,
a little bit more.
doofus, some slob on MSNBC being like, Joe Biden shouldn't debate Donald Trump. Why would you give him the platform to debate Donald Trump? Like, it's amazing. Like the strategy is so obvious. The strategy is so laid bare now. Don't give Donald Trump any oxygen.
You gotta get
anyway.
go
I
see
don't
what
mean to
they're
go off on a
hiring.
separate tangent. We have more to talk. We have too much to talk about today. But that's
Get
why
back in
we will
there.
play Donald Trump. We'll carry his speeches
You have
live.
it.
We'll play Donald Trump when he
have it.
talks. We'll give you. We hope you appreciate that because nobody, like virtually no one else is doing it. And so we're trying to counter that strategy. Anyway, I should have told you it was a 4-minute clip. That's the point of this.
No worries.
Rant. I'm not feeling
It was the president. We like listening.
Hillary
to it.
Clinton is ranting as well. Hillary Clinton, you're gonna love this. You know, it is like a perfect clip to play back to back. Donald Trump heading into court for a fake case with a fake judge who donated to Joe Biden, who's a Stalinist. People are Stalinists. Try not to yell. Ben, don't yell. Stalinist.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this in a second.
These people, as a fake judge, it's a fake court, it's a fake charge. It is going to have an intended result of simply keeping Donald Trump off the campaign trail. And Hildebeest, fresh off of the failure of her intersectional feminist Broadway show, decides to crawl out from under a rock somewhere and then claim that Donald Trump is going to try and jail his political opponents. Where's my where's the stress ball? Where's the pillow I can scream into? I don't actually. I don't actually have a stress ball. We should get one. Ladies and gentlemen,
He has a
Hillary
scream
Clinton
pillow. He didn't
has the
deny
bloody
that.
cheek to go on to national TV
That'd be awesome.
and to complain about how Donald Trump, who's in court just down the street from her, as Joe Biden's trying to jail Donald Trump, that Donald Trump will be the one trying to jail his political opponents.
Dude, okay, yeah, this two things to remind me of this. Two things we're going to talk about. We want to talk about Alinsky's rules for radicals. But I guess I need to do a unveiling on that. I don't know how many people know what this is, the strategy is, but I think I need to teach it. I think we need to go through it. I need to refresh on it, and I want to teach you guys about it because when I teach you this, if you don't already know it, for those who haven't learned it yet, right? Or when we go back over, the rest of you guys who know what it is will remember that you're going to be able to see these people using these tactics. And I don't think they all sat down and read the rules for radicals book like Hillary Clinton, who's a big fan of the guy who wrote it, who loves the guy who wrote it, Saul Alinsky. But via generational storytelling or training, I should say, generational training of these leftist activist groups, people who are subverted into being useful idiots for the establishment, they have taught these rules for radicals to them in various forms, right? Tactically, they might not call it the rules for radicals. That's why we need to go back over the material and review it, because then you'll see, okay, this is the thing that they're doing. And I'll bring up examples of people that are out there actually doing this, and they probably don't even realize that they're copying this playbook. But one person who knows damn sure what those rules are and who wrote them and absolutely loves them, probably can recite them in her sleep, is Hillary Clinton.
There is no other word for it.
We're
It
gonna
is
talk
the
about
banality of evil. These people, they're just
and part of that is the inversion. So all in all, wrapped in it's
they're
the
evil. It's Old
rules for
Testament
radicals.
evil. Okay, it's Old Testament evil. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. There's no other way. There's no other way to speak it. I don't know how they live with themselves. I'm not sure. Every mirror they look into either shatters or they can't see their reflection. These people are
They don't know
vampires.
that.
They're
They're
evil.
not allowed to think
A
that.
determined demagogue, unfortunately supported by members of his political party, other enablers, people who care more about
Okay, so one of the rules for radicals here, I'm gonna pull them up just real quick so I don't misquote them. Here we go. I barely had to finish typing it. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'll do a more in-depth kind of coverage of this. Let me see, which one is she gonna do right here? Okay. Let's see, good tactics. Okay, hold on. I'm just reading through it real quick. Let's see. I'm still here. I haven't cut out. I'm just I'm reading. See okay, this doesn't have all of them on here. So let me so one of them is always accuse your enemy. Actually, yeah, that might be or were, but I have to go back and refresh on it. But the one of them is always accuse your enemy of what you're doing. That's a famous thing the left does. That's something the left, the trained activist left always does. And then the useful idiots repeat it, right? The people that are subverted by the information repeat it. That's what she's going to do right here.
Future tax cut than the sanctity of the Constitution are falling in line behind him. They are trying to excuse some of the most outrageous things that you just recited. And I don't think the press has done enough to basically say, okay, the circus is here. You can watch the circus, but let's tell you what that means. Let's talk to people who have a real understanding of how dictatorships evolve. Let's look at the people that he admires and what they've already done. You know, back in 2016, we didn't have interviews with him. We didn't have a track record of 4 years in office. You know, there was a lot of speculation. And, you know, I understood that people wouldn't take what I said necessarily as gospel about what I thought could happen. I get that. But now we know. We've seen him and we've heard him. And so we need to do a better job of making it absolutely clear that someone who says these things, you know, maybe he wouldn't jail all of his political opponents. One is one too many. Maybe he wouldn't try to force out of business the, you know, members of the press who didn't agree with him. One is one too many. We go down the line. And maybe this would be our last election, because someone who will not accept the validity of an election is someone who doesn't believe in elections. He believes in his own power, his own right to power, and his demand that he be installed regardless of whether he gets the votes or not.
I mean, could the world be? Could the world be? Look at that, perfect. I perfectly stopped that. I mean, could the word inversion not be any more perfect for that? Exactly what they accuse you of. Exactly what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing. And yeah, and this thing about democracy. Someone the other day, I think Joe was going, I don't understand what that means. You know, when he does that. He's like, you know, what do you mean our democracy's in jeopardy? Our democracy's on the line? I was like, it's simple. When people say that, it means that what's on the line is that the establishment won't be able to call the shots anymore. That's what they mean by democracy is online. It means that they won't be able to tell everybody what to do anymore and dictate reality, right? Because right now they're dictating it. For many, many, many people, we're outside of it. We're out here in the fifth veil. We're looking back on all this mess, and we're trying to figure out how to fix it, right? We're trying to figure out how to pull people out of the quagmire that is the first and second veil. We're trying to figure out how to pull them out of the cycle of abuse, right? We're trying to figure out how to break the cycle of control that the global ownership class. There's 1 through 4 right there. So we're sitting on 5, the fifth veil, in solution culture. Educated and sophisticated past the influences of those other veils, and that's where we want to bring everybody else. You know, this is where the base live. The base live in the fifth veil, solution culture. The base live in solution culture. That's it. But that's the whole idea. But yeah, exactly. Democracy to them, and we all get upset about it because we know the definition just means rule by the people, but we can rule by the people in a constitutional republic, right? So they misconstrue this word. They've, like many words, they control the language to control reality, and we have to stop their control over the language, right? We have to get back to real words, real meanings. We have to get back to the trivium. We have to get back to understanding grammar, logic, rhetoric from the ground up, and using real definitions for words and using them the right way, because people create fallacies with words, and then those fallacies become the new definitions of the words. And especially in a corrupt society, that's where you're going to find that happening the most. So yeah, when they say it, Ellie, just from now on, when you hear them say it, just remember what they're talking about. Is they're talking about the establishment not being able to call the shots the way that, not being able to be authoritarian dictators over all of us from behind their veil, right? That's what it means. That's what they're talking about. And see, they use that term democracy to make people feel like, you know, they're not going to have a say in anything. But they don't. Most of those people who use the word democracy have no idea what the real definition of it is. It just means, flat out and simple, rule of the people, right? Not a king. And they don't understand that in this country, the rule of the people is done through a constitutional republic, a representative democracy, right? So they represent the people. The people are elected officials, represent the people, and they go to hopefully obey the law and run the country for us, right? And through government, small government, constitutional government. That's ideally what we're supposed to be dealing with here. But that's not what we're dealing with, because they've subverted the word. They've used it to become a weapon. And that it leads to people like Ellie and others getting very upset with the word when they hear it. And it's like nails on a chalkboard to a lot of people. So as long as they create more votes than opponents, they have a false majority, aka yeah. Well, that's one way to look at it as well. You know, that it's all false, you know, in that sense, right? That's just the rigged game. We're just calling it the rigged game right there, right? And then yeah, socialism. When a socialist describes it, it's like, you know, two wolves and one sheep fighting over what they're going to have for dinner, right? That's what it becomes when the word's bastardized, and who bastardizes it better than the Marxists, because they know that then they can use it as a stepping stone to their ends. And in one way or another, that's happening. Well, what we don't realize, I think, as we worry about our country's problems, is that, and of course, I'm talking about maybe from people that are rewatching or watching for the first time, not my crowd. My crowd's sophisticated, smartest crowd out there in terms of issues that truly matter and what's coming at us right now, clear and present danger, is that, what was I playing off of? Oh, right here. Is it that word's been bastardized? It's been used, it's been turned into a weapon to activate, right? Because I tell you again, you could ask any one of these people to describe what democracy is, and most of them have no idea what it is. And when you drill down on them, like you say, okay, well, isn't that what we have? Or, you know, we're not ruled by a king and blah, blah, blah. They can't, they go, they're gone, right? They're in denial. You've talked them right out of it. They're going to fight or flight now. They're going to go right into anger mode and either fly or fight, and start using some of these tactical weaponized means of debate or arguing, really is what it is, in order to try to maintain that belief system, because that belief system is the structure of their own reality, right? And that the reality will shatter if they were to lose that belief system, or so they believe, right? It's a really bad psychological trick they pull on people. All right, so let's finish this up.
So you're watching the comment section, screaming with you. I'm watching the comment section, screaming with you. Producer ALX is like, wait a second, this should have been a salty lib. Don't worry, we have salty libs for you later on the program. Hillary Clinton saying somebody won't accept the results of an election? Hillary Clinton saying that? Hillary Clinton saying you're going to lock up your political opponents? I guess it's better than you know, sending them to Hillary Clinton's favorite little sleeper cell inside the federal penitentiary in Manhattan. I suppose that's better, but they want to kill Donald Trump anyway. They want to get rid of Donald Trump's Secret Service. So you're going to get Arkancided no matter what. This kind of stuff is wild. I just don't know how else to explain it. We do have a verse of the day on the program all the time. There's no other way. There's no other lens to look at it through other than a spiritual lens. It's just evil. Satan's the author of all lies. It's demonic. To lie, like the worst lies you tell are the lies to yourself. Could you imagine being Hillary?
You lie to yourself, you can lie to other people. See, that's the whole thing too, right? You gotta have interfaith. You won't
Clinton and spending the better part of the last 8.5 years
mewling
and bitching and griping and moaning that you're the president. That you're the president. She said it. She said it so many times.
Yeah, and again, it's again the rules for radicals, right? It's just that whole mentality of these Marxist thinkers, these Marxist intellects, or whatever you want to call them. And she's old school. I mean, she goes back to the day, right? So she's well versed in the tactics. Every time you see Hillary Clinton anywhere talking to anyone on TV, or wherever, she's tactically out there for it's always a platform for her to further subvert people. So this whole idea that she actually won, right? Questioning an election. And then when Trump knows that he actually won and was actually trying to point out the fraud and what had happened, they attack him and call him all kinds of things, but we're supposed to forget that she did it. That's the power, because they have the power over the media communications and all that. We know why they get away with it. It's just not right. And it's just a sign of this corrupt system. So, but anyways, the good news is, I love that face you're making, Benny. The good news is that as more and more people catch on, they lose more and more power, right? They must have your consent in order to maintain their power. And as we go along, the good news will always be when we have wins that expose and pull people out of that trap. That's the biggest win we can get. All right. So I don't think there's anything else in here we need to talk about, but yeah. So Hillary likes to use those things, and she's, people are seeing it and calling it out, and that's what counts. All right. So I think that is going to do it for the good news of the week. Well, we can leave it. Let's end it on a good note here. With let's see. I don't want to drag this out too much, but I would like to say that Trump, I'll just use a picture here. Yeah, Trump surprised some New York City firefighters by delivering pizza to them. This happened 8 days ago. But there you go. So that man, that's the kind of guy he is. And as he goes places, he gets these great receptions. They try to make us think that people don't love him. People love him, right? And then this kind of activity is hidden from those that are confined and trapped in the establishment narrative. They'll never get to see this stuff, right? If they do, they'll probably say these are all white supremacists in the crowd. All right, guys, we're moving on. That's good news of the week. And before we go any further, you know why. All right, Wolfram, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. He says, just because, but I know why. I know why. Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate your support and all the hard work you do as a mod. It means the world. Thank you guys so much. And like Shelly says, thank you. Very sweet. All right. So I was on the Shinagram, I was on Shinagram's channel for Fiery Red's fundraiser, which I guess by this point they've already probably got that money. But let's see. But I was on there with Valhalla, and I told Valhalla, I was like, dude, you need to come by sometime just to say hi. And he's usually playing with Legos when I'm on stream, so he doesn't get a chance to see that he is the star of our next segment, at least the intro part of it. So I was like, come by anytime, I'll play it for you. But he has no idea that I actually, when he came in to shoot this video, that I actually decided to go with it. So here you go. It's time for funny videos. Am I still here? That ended kind of weird. All right, well, there you go. This is how I remembered it. Yeah, he has no idea. I don't think he's ever seen it. So he has to come through it. Keep reminding him to come to my show to see it. I mean, it doesn't matter what show. He can just come by anyone. But yeah, we're hearing the funny videos. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine? This would be horrifying, but if it were the case, you know how delusional woke people are. You know, a lot of them believe that you know, Jesus was a leftist, Jesus is a liberal, Jesus would, you know, would vote for Biden or whatever. What if Jesus was woke?
If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn it off with the other also. Unless they're a Republican. Then you can feel free to punch them in the face. Let the children come unto me, and do not hinder them, unless they might be born into poverty, or they might be an inconvenience to your party lifestyle. In that case, feel free to murder them in the womb. Haven't you read that in the beginning, God created them male and female, and genderqueer, femboy, trans man, trans woman, two-spirit. You have heard that it was said, hate your enemies. But I say to you, this is correct. And here's a handy little chart to help you understand who your enemy is, based on Marxist intersectionality theory.
As the Lord was setting out on a journey, a certain young man approached him.
My Lord, what must I do to be saved? Be less white.
But the man went away sad, for he was very white.
My lord, if you had been here, my brother Lazarus would not have died.
Do not be afraid, for Lazarus will live again through this mail-in ballot. Bi-gender, non-binary, demi-boy, omnigender, pangender, xenogender, someone who identifies as a large ornate building. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by reducing their carbon footprint and getting vaccinated 12 times, like me. Cancel your enemies.
Cancel your enemies.
Curse those who bless you. And burn down the whole country if you don't get your way. Tater-tot gender, ghost boy, tri-spirit, weather gender, transfemme, polyfluid, dolphin man, yodel boy, Goomba sexual.
It's a miracle. Jesus has multiplied the fish and the loaves.
Oh no, my son. I've merely stolen it from that village over there. It's called wealth redistribution. Pretty sweet, huh? Nice. Would you like to be healed, my son?
Yes, of course, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you.
Then fear not. For I have supported a new healthcare bill that will force you to buy insurance. Because I am a good person. By this, they will know that you are my disciples. If you have one of these yard signs, or you wear a Ukraine pin, or you put one of these human rights campaign stickers on your camel. Here, take one. Super sticky. The poor you will always have with you. This is because of capitalism. Eat the rich. 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 Eat the rich.
Wait, sorry.
Barista queer, cocaine bear gender, Marvel sexual, hyper queer, hedgehog brony, cocaine,
yeah,
infiniqueer, barista queer, cocaine bear gender, Marvel sexual, hyper queer, hedgehog brony, and last but not least, bi-curious demigirlkin.
What about Shrek gendered?
Oh, yes. Shrek gendered too. Yeah. Whatever you guys want. Make them all up. It's fine.
The church is under attack. Marxist ideology and wokeism are attempting to hijack the gospel message and lead many astray. That's why you need Woke Jesus, the false messiah destroying Christianity, by best-selling author Lucas Miles. In this groundbreaking book, Pastor Lucas Miles exposes the dangerous distortion of Jesus by the progressive left. Get your copy now at lucasmiles.org/B. That's lucasmiles.org/BEE.
There you go.
And discover the
PSA.
truth behind the false narrative shaping our pulpits.
Good job. Hold on. God, this one just keeps going. Hold on. I keep thinking it's done and it's not. Hold on. They should do this one every week. Woke
Behind the
Jesus is
false
hilarious.
narrative shaping our pulpits.
Pop quiz. Which one of you is more oppressed? Is it the woman or the darker one? That is correct.
Were you just watching a Babylon Bee video? Of course you were. You know how I know?
There you go. Babylon B. That's where it was. And just for you, Ellie, I saw what you need. There go the link. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I was too slow. So I will now deleteth thy comment. All right. All right. So there you go. Nice little warm up, huh? That was so good. Well, hey guys, in case you didn't know, I saw like a JP Sears live this week. I saw it on replay, but he covered like this conspiracy grift by Grift Cooper, Bill the Grift Cooper, where he had some doctored footage, or some misconstrued footage. I'm pretty sure it was doctored, but where he said that the guy who shot Kennedy was basically the driver, and he just turned around and popped him real quick. And JP was kind of questioning it, like this is his more funny but serious show, where he's just he's not doing skits, but he's just talking to you. And so I have my suspicions about it, but like I approach most things, if I don't already know, I'll just figure it out, right? I gotta figure it out if it's important or if it pops back up or something like that. It just depends on the situation. This one, I'm kind of like, you can't take anything Bill Cooper says too seriously. Like he talks about the truthful things that we all know, and then he does these major swerves. The guy was a bad alcoholic, and it might have had a lot to do with some of his takes, but it certainly had to do with his outtake, if you will. But one of them that's one of the big ones, like that he has some UFO-y kind of thing, alien stuff, and then in other cases he's been taken the wrong way, but a lot of the people that like to it's almost like his following seems to fall on the real alt-right, right? The real outside the box, so too far gone to even be part of the anti-establishment. But so I went in to Eric Hunley was doing a show with this guy who was a documentarian of he was there, a documentarian, done research, did all that stuff like that. Him and Gruber, they were interviewing this guy, and so I sent a super chat in on JP's behalf. I didn't say it was for him, but to get the answer, I was like, "What do you think of the Bill Cooper, theory about the driver shooting?" And I said, I don't think that is what happened, or that it would be way too hard to cover up, and too many people would know about it, and it's just it's ridiculous, right? They got a big laugh out of that. They kind of like, oh yeah, that's one of the worser ones, that come out. And so absolutely not. And they told a little story about it, but I clipped it and sent it to JP. It's on my Twitter page, so you can find the clip that I made from the super chat that I sent. I was hoping he would respond to it, but he hasn't responded to it, so I'm guessing he just is smothered in information as well all the time. But yeah, it was a good clip. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I say that because JP Sears. Here we go. Whoops, there are safety concerns.
Here's trusted Democrat governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, saying what she thinks out loud.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They
What's that, Mama?
don't know. They don't know these things.
That didn't, that's probably not what she meant. Let's take a closer look at what she meant.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who
Look at
don't
this.
even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology.
Good evening.
That was like as good as the one, right? That was as good as the one where Biden said, he said something about poor kids. It was like, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but yeah, it was one of those goths where they actually show their true colors without, oh, I didn't filter my words correctly. They don't even know. It's the same kind of thing as they say they don't know how to get IDs. It's just total insults, and I don't understand why they. I think the way Gary explained it to me way back when we were hanging out, is that it didn't matter to a lot of them as long as they get some money out of it. So as long as they think they're getting money out of it, they don't care if they're racist to them or not. They don't care if they're secretly racist and just nice to the face. Like that's the way he was. I think the way he was trying to explain it to me for a little inside baseball there.
And welcome to Lies You Can Trust. Some of these are being pulled off the market for blood clots and whatnot.
Right. They don't. Well, yeah, that's even worse, right? How can you know what a computer is if you don't know what the word is? Oh, right. You're right. T3. You're right, Shelly. I did bring it up, didn't I? So I got to do it.
Where's the money,
Yeah, if I ever bring him up, I have to put the disclaimer out there. All right. Oh yeah, Mimsy, thank you so much for the membership. Who got that membership? Who got it? Where's it at? Am I that far behind? Oh, there we go. The catch-up chat. Thomas Anderson was gifted a membership by Mimsy. Thomas, make sure you thank Mimsy. She just gave you a free membership, bud. Woohoo! All right, let's continue. Oh, wait, hold on. Gotta play this. Thank you.
It's cold up there in Vietnam. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this swing. When I find out that amazing thing.
Thank you so much. You rock. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. And Thomas got the gift of membership.
He's over there winning. Can't stop winning.
Yep, he can't stop winning. He just won a free gift of membership.
So tonight we have to do damage control. As it turns out, what we've been telling you hasn't been absolutely true. But don't worry, we won't admit we were wrong because it was the best information we had at the time. We'll also be giving you a rundown on what the world's biggest hypocrite has done. But at least he refuses to apologize for it. But before we get to that, here's what your kids will become if you send them to college.
Do you know what makes me special?
I just want to stop this real quick before she answers the question. Just take a good look at that. TikTok, Idealista, Royal Caribbean. What? I don't understand where this is from. But what do you think she's going to say next? Let's just play a game. That's your kitty. Let's see. Don't do that. Oh yeah, Thomas, don't remember to thank Mimsy for the gifted membership. Yeah, what do you think she's gonna say next? What do you think she's gonna say next? I mean, look at this. Where do they get the money to spend on Where do they get the money to spend on all this shit? I mean, they can't have jobs. I guess if they're talking on a mic, they do. What's going on here? How did you afford to get that horn put in his head? Or you think it's just makeup? I know a lot of people have surgery to do that shit, but those tattoos aren't cheap. I mean, dude, what do you do when you wake up every day and look in the mirror and this is what you're looking at? I mean, what do you do? You wake up one day and realize you've totally destroyed your beautiful little body that was given to you as a gift to live in this world. You know, I tend to look at myself and have more empathy than to do things like that to myself. Like, I feel like I'm hurting myself. I mean, hell, some of the shit I do, I feel guilty about. I feel like I'm hurting this thing that is me. That was just a little one at decades back, you know, and it's just a shame. But anyways, what do you guys think they're going to say next? Sorry, I went on deep thoughts there for a minute, but you know, I just see pain when I look at them. I just see pain. Oh my God, what is it? What is that? Right, Ellie? What is that? I don't know. All right, well, I'm gonna let him answer. Here we go. I'll back it up since I went ahead and erased all short-term memory there.
You send them to college.
Do you know what makes me special? I'm a queer. And I'm a witch.
And she's a witch. And she screams it. I mean, dude, you're a joke. I mean, look at this. He's probably got the devil horns on his hand. You don't even have to look at his hand to know that this is what this poor pathetic person is doing. I mean, gross, dude. Gross for the men, gross for the women. I mean, ugh. They're trying to. This is the thing. It's destruction culture, is what it is. It's destruction culture, right? Destroying anything beautiful about themselves, destroying symmetry. You got the horn on one side and not the other. You're destroying symmetry. She's more symmetrical, but symmetry is beauty, right? So they're destroying that, destroying your natural beauty. You know, it's defacing. Guys, help me out with this. It's defacing your vessel, but in that, it's like a sin of some kind of like some God or Jesus or someone spoke about it. About defacing yourself to distorting yourself to this degree. So obviously nothing new under the sun, but yeah, the screeching to me screams mental illness, right? And drugs. And drugs, lots of drugs. Desecrating your temple. Thank you, LA Font. Thank you. Yes, desecration. We don't like that, do we? Desecrating. All right. Oh, hold on. I got a kitten on the desk.
Bright future they have,
where
they'll be able to spell at least some words almost correctly. It's also exciting to see a lot of college students bringing back trends from the 1930s. Please do send your kids to college. It's for the greater good. And now to the main story. Do you remember the pandemic that we did?
Hold on, that was too good to let pass. Sorry, we got a new kitten. And by the way, in case you haven't seen the new kitten yet, I got this set up just special for this occasion. There's a new kitten. That's Bray. And in case you're curious, it's a male. He's 6 months old, and he's an African American shorthair. So yeah, that's Bray, and he's new, and he likes to get up on the desk, and so we're all on high alert as to what could happen. But he's got good luck so far. You know, he's hit the keyboard and sent super chats. I mean, I sent chat before I finished typing them, and actually finished the sentence, and it came out fine. And that time started the video right when it needed to be started. So already off to my good luck kitty Bray is already doing a good job here helping out. All right, let's get back to it. Yeah, I had to rewind that one. That's hilarious. Bringing back old trends.
It was pretty good, right? The pandemic that saw the flu.
There it is. Look at that. Perfect. Wow, how about that? Hilarious. Don't point that out though.
It's to college. It's for the greater good. And now to the main story. Do you remember the pandemic that we did? It was pretty good, right? The pandemic that saw the flu coincidentally drop to almost non-existent levels because of the science? Well, after years of vile conspiracy theorists touting dangerous misinformation where they'd call life-saving protocols things like clot shots. Those shots are now being taken off the market because it turns out they cause clots.
How about that? Yeah, that's other good news of the week. I didn't put out there, but we can talk about it here. Is that one down, several to go of those nasty little things. Of course, we all knew in time the damage. You can't escape the damage when it's the damage. You can't escape the results, right? The damage will come, and it will be seen, and it will be felt. And so, yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that. Jude Kuro, how you doing? Thank you so much. Thank you. It's awesome to see you. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Let's see, where were we at? I had something else here. Oh yeah. Thomas. Kaiwan is a big fan of Carolyn. And her work as far as exposing what's going on in schools is really great. I think we're on the same track. I think there's different perspectives, but who knows, man? She is a bulldog. I think give her that. She goes out there and fights. So what in her exposing Marxism video? We should play that one time. I'm guessing they mean what does she mean when she says it? Put it in the chat for me. All right, let's move on. I have a story. What's up? Welcome. Glad you're here. Well, good luck with that. Don't keep passing out.
Specifically, AstraZeneca has to take theirs off the market after the company admitted that it causes rare side effects. And please note, those side effects didn't exist until the company had to admit it. Let's hear more.
They didn't have to exist until the company admitted it. Because how long have people been talking about it? How long have all this weird stuff start popping up? Oh no, it can't be those things. It can't be those things.
AstraZeneca is moving towards withdrawing its COVID-19 vaccine worldwide after admitting to a rare side effect. There's a link between the jab and blood clotting in parts of the brain or stomach that can cause long-term disability or death. The drug maker applied to stop use in the European Union with plans to do the same around the rest of the globe. Our regulator discontinued the vaccine last year.
Those rare side effects.
Yeah, right. Like I said, one down minute ago. No, right now. Oh, kittens are just, they like to do what they like to do. That way now, we're on the stream. All right. Back it up here. Sorry, I got a little distracted.
Regulator discontinued the vaccine last year.
Those rare side effects can be pretty common, unfortunately. Now, one of the faces that you were gullible enough to trust when it came to making decisions about your body is Chris Cuomo. Cuomo, before receiving a career promotion by being fired by CNN, regularly spent airtime demanding that you get vaccinated while staying away from ivermectin. And now Cuomo has admitted that he got sick from the very thing he was promoting, and he takes ivermectin. Rules for thee, but not for me is always exciting. Let's hear what Chris said recently.
I'll tell you something else that's going to get you a lot of hits. I am taking a, what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin. Ivermectin was a boogeyman early on in COVID.
You couldn't talk about it.
That was wrong. We were given bad information about ivermectin.
You think so? You think so? You know, this is the person that people are supposed to like turn into for news and opinion, and he's that far behind. This strategy is not all there. I mean, it's like, or he's not that bright. I don't know. He may be good at arguing or something, but you know, really, wow. It's like you don't say, huh?
The real question is why?
Well, Chris, it turns out why we were given.
Why? The real question is why. You're supposed to be an investigative journalist or of some kind. The real question is why. You don't know this already. Chris is way behind. But hey, look, if he comes over to the good side, and that's cool. You know, he can be the example of like somebody who just like came to, and we're trying to like help him catch up on like 20 years of research and you know, several hours or something. His redemption arc. Oh, the kitten. Sorry, the kitten keeps. Okay, just lay down on the desk then. Just lay there. One day you'll be too big to get on the desk. How about that? Yes. Yep. This BS redemption arc. We'll see. But I love the way his eyes got all like wide. Like he was like telling us something we didn't like. Oh my God, Chris, you're such a you're so, you know, wow. Thanks for the breaking news.
Well, Chris, it turns out why we were given bad information about ivermectin is because you gave it to us.
Ivermectin, a dewormer, really? Yeah. They need to be called out in shame. People so resistant to reason and reliant on lies that they would rather try poison. You're not a horse. You are not a cow. Taking a drug that's given to livestock as an anti-parasitic, it doesn't work. Please don't take it.
But you'll be relieved to know that Chris Cuomo has offered no apology or taken any responsibility. And that's why his lies are lies you can trust. After all, he was just innocently shaming people into taking shots from pharmaceutical companies that have a proven track record of safely and effectively putting the health and best interests of people first. Meanwhile, Pfizer has settled in 10,000 lawsuits against them for failing to warn people about the cancer risks in their safe and effective drug called Zantac. I still think they should have mandated that one too. This just in! Chemtrails definitely don't exist. If they did, don't you think you'd be able to see them? And in keeping up with the times at We Lie to You News,
he had to be
we've
joking.
recently committed to hiring more women. Not out of social pressure, where we're just trying to make the optics look right.
But if he wasn't joking, that's another reason he needs to come on my show.
We're doing it because we know women automatically bring more to the table than men do. So for today's weather report, let's throw it over to our new meteorologist, Kelly. Kelly, how's the weather looking today?
I don't know what's going on.
Didn't think you would, Kelly. And finally, the Boy Scouts of America have gone non-binary so they can be more inclusive by changing their name to Scouting America. Some say the Boy Scouts are just caving to woke culture after they had to pay $2.5 billion in lawsuits related to sexual abuse of boys, which is another lovely dimension of woke culture. But now, girls, non-binary, unicorns, trans, agender, and furry children will all have the opportunity to be abused by the organization, and that is inclusivity.
Yeah,
that's it for today's news.
Yep.
Remember to vote blue in the upcoming election so we can finally end racism.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
Just like she's doing. Good night.
Nice. So off they go. Off they go. Second time's a charm. Yeah, Fredo, you know, it just shows you like how easily they pick these people, people that are taking these jobs and getting the jobs, they're looking for a certain type. Right. It's just clueless, right? Clueless and easily directed to outrage. And that's what he did. He'd be like, he got all outraged because he'd be told something. And well, why didn't everybody else get it? And he didn't even realize that what he's being told is a lie, or he's being used. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if he does, then what we're going to see in the end is just somebody who is undercover, like an undercover subverter, or someone who's just starting to figure it out. Either way, it's a good test case to look at. He's inconsequential. He's got no credibility. If it went for his past and his family and whatnot, he probably wouldn't get any notoriety either. But I do think it's time to refresh the, get some new voices out there, get some other people out there to be interested in, besides people that have, obviously been very productive in working for the establishment in the past. I was like, I'm glad you guys get it now, but you don't need to still be in the spotlight. Obviously you have some catching up to do, and that's going to take some time. Can't be out there talking out of your ass even more. Let's see. And they don't, I think black kids. Yeah, exactly right. Black kids don't know how to use a computer. They don't know how to get IDs. They don't know what the word means. Yeah, these people on the left, they love you. They love you, black community. They really do. They think highly of you. Oh man. So I got one more kind of in-betweener video. And this one I thought would be interesting to look at. And like, it's kind of funny in a way of like what people thought the world would be like in the future, right? So like future takes are funny, right? So what do you think people in 1899 imagined the year 2000 would be like? And this isn't from 2000, but this is just it turns out they asked people back at that time to draw up what they imagined the future to be. So I thought this would be interesting, and like some of the kind of funny ideas that people would come up with, but also, it'd be funny and interesting at the same time. So I think you guys will enjoy this. Let's check out, let's do this. Let's speed this one up a little bit. All right. And then we're going to get into the animal videos, cat videos, and all that fun stuff that we'd love to do. All right, so here
was
we go.
awaiting the arrival of the 20th century. A group of French artists were asked to imagine what life would be like 100 years into the future, in the year 2000. They accepted the challenge and they took it seriously. After all, they were told that their work would be displayed at the Paris World Exhibition in 1900. They talked to scientists, businessmen, and thinkers of the day to compile a list of innovations that could possibly be in use by the year 2000. The vast majority of the images that I'm about to show you were made in 1899. Some of their predictions are laughable, some are almost right, and some are surprisingly accurate, and some are ahead of our time now. Never mind 2000. These images would go on to be used as cigar box inserts, and then for 70 years they were completely forgotten, until the 1980s when...
Cigar box inserts, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let me turn this down a little bit. Let me know if that FX throwing you guys in. I came in here blasting. All right.
Isaac Asimov acquired a set of them and published them in a 1986 book entitled Future Days, a 19th century vision of the year 2000. The images that I'm about to show you show just how far humanity has come. Things that are normal and commonplace for us today couldn't even have been imagined in 1899, but they had a really good shot at it, and in some instances they almost got it right. Please sit back and enjoy l'an 2000, literally in the year 2000. This is how they envisioned sea travel, underwater and powered by
Look at
whales.
this.
Isambard
Underwater powered by whales. Look how much fun everybody's having. Yeah, these little guy, these dudes out here. This one guy's on a rudder on the back. The other guy's, I guess, like steering the whale.
Kingdom Brunel had already solved iron-hulled ships powered by steam at this point. This is a poor start for their future predictions.
Right?
Maybe the previous picture was a pleasure cruise underwater. It looks like everyone has hopped off the whale-powered sub for a game of underwater croquet. This is entitled Torpedo Plane. 4 years before the Wright brothers had developed powered, controlled, heavier-than-air flight, we were already predicting that war would be fought in the air. Sadly, they got this one right. This one is entitled Battle Cars, but they've correctly predicted the armoured battle tank.
Battle cars.
They're along the right lines here. We do have a lot of labour-saving gadgets these days, but having all of your beauty needs met at the flick of a switch is still some way off.
I love the imagination here because it's just like these things are just tacked on, and there's a little wire right here. Then I guess he's pushing the buttons to make it all work. Automated future. I wonder if some of these drawings gave the person who did the Jetsons some ideas.
Oh dear, it looks like the croquet game has been interrupted by a giant octopus. They seem to think that we'll be spending a lot of our time underwater at the turn of the millennium. At first glance, this looks crazy. The teacher is feeding the machine with books, and the knowledge is being fed into their brains electronically. On the same day as I'm writing this script, Elon Musk's Neuralink has just received FDA approval for human trials of his brain interface. Elon predicts that in years to come, we'll have AI and the internet in our brains via a neural lace. This is scarily accurate and still some way off, but it will come.
Baseline. Hope it's not copyrighted.
This is entitled A House Rolling Through the Countryside. Well, we did have RVs in 2000, so it's partially correct.
Yeah, that's kind of
We
right.
don't sit on balconies and roof terraces whilst on the move, though.
Just saying, if this suddenly cuts off, it's because of copyrighted music, not here live, but if you're rewatching it for some reason, and all of a sudden it goes blank, it's just because I had to cut it out. That music sounds very copyrighted.
Without the need for someone to be there playing instruments. It looks like the conductor is flicking a switch and machines are playing the instruments. We're underwater again, and this time it's a day out at the races. This gentleman is receiving his voicemails in the morning. They're right about voicemail, but wrong about the delivery method. His manservant seems to be bringing him a gadget, which will be played on his desk-bound audio device. I'm going to give this one partial credit. The late Victorians imagined us spending a lot of time in the air. They envisioned law enforcement with high-speed chases on powered bikes. We don't have the inbuilt riot shield, so again, partial credit. They predicted advancements in how microscopes would change our view of the world.
Oh, dang. That's obviously the MNRA.
They predicted that we'd all have means of personal flight. These thieves are using their ability to fly for nefarious purposes, robbing nests perched high on rocks.
They're just stealing birds.
They thought that you could go into a clothes shop and have your clothes made on the spot, just for you. This one is entitled Intensive Breeding. The eggs are fed in at the top, and chicks are delivered via a chute. Again, this is a prediction of aerial military capabilities. He's a solo advance party observing the enemy from the air.
Oh, yeah. Nothing to see here.
This is how they saw the future kitchen. They're right about the mod cons of the labour-saving devices, but this one looks more like a lab. If we're all going to be flying, then you're going to need the aviation police. Here we have a routine traffic stop.
You're going too fast.
Fishing for seagulls whilst underwater. Maybe they're predicting climate change and the rising of the seas.
Oh, God. I hate it when people are like, I'm guessing that's a joke. Like, we'll take that as a very sarcastic.
I'm giving this a partial credit. Farms are now industrialized with incredibly efficient machinery. This farmer is managing his crops with just a flick of a switch. Maybe in 20 years, with the development of AI and robotics, this image will be even more accurate.
No overalls for him. He's ready to go to the
This guy's
track.
printing a house. Incorrect for the year 2000, but spot on for 2023. The architect is pressing a button and the house gets printed. Technology that is available today. They predicted electric trains.
There you go. Wait, hold on. How do we know that's electric? I don't know.
No more back-breaking work for this housemaid. No, with just a tug on this brass bar, all of the cleaning is taken care of with this device. Again, they were way off the mark for 2000, but in 2023, we do have robot vacuum cleaners, so partial credit.
And I'm pretty sure that's a whip, right?
We're back underwater, and we've clearly found a way to make seahorses so big that we can actually ride them.
Yep. There's a genetic engineering right there. So because everybody needs a seahorse to ride.
This guy is dictating his letters. His speech has been converted to text and then printed out on a printer in his office. Again, they were wrong for the year 2000, but spot on for 2023. Speech-to-text technology developed by the likes of Google and Apple has made this scene a reality.
Oh, the
They're having a video call. None of these predictions suggest internet communications or that iPads would be a thing. They just knew that this sort of thing would happen someday, and they were absolutely right.
Well, yeah, video calls. Yeah, why not? Looks like they're coming through the wall here to the wire line. They just figured out how to change video into, yeah. So there you have it. I love it how he has to have someone operate it for him.
This modern house is warm and cozy because that's radium in the fireplace.
Oh, good old
this prediction
radium.
did not come to pass.
Radium heated houses. Maybe that'll stop climate change. I know what we should do is just get all the woke people to use radium in their fireplaces this winter, and that'll probably warm everything up. Probably save the climate.
They thought that all of your barbering needs could be met with the flick of a switch and with a terrifying gadget wielding a blade. Again, mercifully, this didn't happen.
No liability.
Please allow me just 15 seconds to plug this channel. Very Nearly Interesting is a brand new channel, and I need all the help I can get. Please hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video.
I did. Hold on. How much help does this guy need?
I'm putting this.
How much does he need? Hold on. He has. This is 5 months ago. He has 67,501 subscribers. All right. And he's got 2.3 million views on this video. Yeah. So everybody, please help this poor guy out. All right. Please help this poor guy out.
In the why don't we have them by now category. This guy is listening to his newspaper. They envisioned a time where you didn't need to read the news. No, you could just sit back and have the news read to you. They got the delivery method
That would be
wrong,
so
but
awesome.
other than that, they were, of course, spot on. They predicted huge advancements in astronomy with huge telescopes of ever-increasing size. I'm giving this an A+. Mid-air lawn tennis, sadly, never seemed to take off. This is how air travel was envisioned. The boat, they reckoned, could be made lighter than air. It's incredible to think that just 4 years after this was painted, we had invented the first aeroplane. This one dates from 1910. It clearly depicts the Wright Flyer, invented in 1903. They predicted that you'd be able to rescue people at sea from air. We wouldn't do it in aeroplanes, but they were, of course, spot on.
Spot on. Spot on.
They thought getting the post to people in rural communities would be much better from the air.
I agree.
The aviation police again. They're making a mid-air arrest.
The aviation police, man. I'm not looking forward to that.
This prediction must have seemed so obvious in 1899. Clearly, hunting would be easier from the air.
Yeah, I don't know. That is clever. I don't know why I haven't
They
thought of
thought
that yet.
everyone would be flying in the year 2000, and that includes the fire service. But is this really so crazy?
Hold on.
Why couldn't we now give
There was that one, the flying air. Everybody was flying. We're totally missing out on the flight culture. Flight culture. Yeah, I mean the hunting from the air. The only time I've ever did you guys ever see the Darwin Awards where the guy decided he was gonna tie helium balloons to his lawn chair and he just had a shotgun in his lap and he was gonna fly around. He just some redneck dude out by a trailer or something got a bunch of helium balloons. He got a bunch of them. He tied them to the lawn chair, right? And then he had a rope and he climbed up the rope, I guess, and then cut the rope. And he just had, and what he's going to do is he's going to fly around, say hey to the gang, and then he's going to use the gun to shoot the balloons out, and he'll make a nice soft landing. Well, he put it all together, right? And he got in the chair, and you know it's sitting there, and the rope's holding it from flying around. So he cuts the rope, and the chair shoots up like hundreds of feet in the air, like as fast. It shoots up. It goes up so fast that he didn't have time to shoot the balloons out without completely wrecking, from like a skyscraper height fall. That didn't work out too good. Just make sure you guys don't do that. All right, that'd be a horrible way to go. It'll get you a Darwin Award though.
for firemen a jetpack and a long hose for those really tall buildings? I'm putting this in the category of, it's a good idea, so why don't we do it?
Yeah, why don't we have flying firemen? I mean, come on.
They were clearly misinformed about how slowly an aeroplane could travel. This pilot is just swinging past his local cafe for a much-needed glass of claret. They knew aeroplanes would be a thing in 2000, and this is how they envisioned an airport. They thought that there would be an aerocab station on virtually every street. And finally, fighting on the land, sea, and air. Sadly, they were absolutely correct. I'm sure if you and I were to predict the year 2123, we'd be way off the mark. I really hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click the like button. That way, more people will see it. And please consider subscribing. That way, we might see you again. And please have a look at some of our other content on the channel. There's lots of interesting things on there. Well, very nearly interesting.
Well, good luck. I know your channel is struggling and new, but I'm sure you'll make it. All right. What else do I have in store for you guys tonight? Whoa. What's going on out there? Pellet gun? Guy did it and used. What about the Trump rally? Guy did it and used a pellet gun to slowly lower himself while higher than he planned, but made it downstairs. Is that the same guy I'm talking about? Man, that was so funny at the time. Because I think he only had on was like shorts. All right. Let's do. Try to make sure I remember which one it. All right. I hope none of these have copyrighted music. Let's do this one. What time is it? Yeah, we'll do this one. All right, here we go. Not sure, but the guy lived and got arrested. A subscription, yeah. I would think that if it was going to do all that stuff, you would need a subscription. And of course, if you follow the real conspiracies in the world, the WEF's 10 to 2030, the real one, the one that's clear and present and coming in 6 years, and they're already working on day and night every day, and and they put out, they tell you about it to your face, and they put it on their website, and they say, hey, this is what we're going to do to you unless you stop us. Yeah, I mean, it's stakeholder capitalism, right? Everything's supposed to be rented. You'll own nothing and be happy. All right, so I don't know if that's a. You never know if on these TikTok videos. Look at that. They're pretty good about catching copyrights over there, though.
Oh.
Okay, Pat, here we go. This is what I should get into after Cat. But they don't do silly stuff like this.
Il en met du temps. Mais il est où? Vous croyez bien pas? Ah, il est là. What?
Oh my gosh.
Piggy dipping.
Piggy dipping at the piggy pond.
Don't be
You were able to
copyrighted.
get the beverage machine to work yet? Oh dear.
Don't be copyrighted. Don't be copyrighted. Don't be copyrighted.
You're just a pretty princess. Come here.
Oh no.
Sorry.
Oh no. It's prey. Sometimes it just isn't your day. Now, why would you mute that? You really think that's copyrighted music? He's like, please.
Ollie, look at me. What are you doing? Oh my god.
You don't choose your cat. Your cat chooses you. And oh my god, dude, you good?
Do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
Don't copyright me. There you go. See, someone cut it off. Dogs and cats working together in perfect harmony.
Ready?
Whoa. That's cool. Someone give the cat some water.
No.
Oh, that's a smart cat.
What exactly? What are you doing?
Uh-oh. You had everything set up for your graduation. Oh no, this is not copyrighted. That is a very wild looking cat. That's pretty cool. It's like Ninja Cat horse.
I'm okay. I'm fine. Kinchana. Kinchana. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, it stinks. Nice and good.
Uh-oh. The kitten fell asleep in the bowl.
Oh, look at you little tiny kitty, little tiny baby kitty. Ow! There's your tiny kitty.
Oh no. Oh, what do you get? Trolling the dog. Determination. Perseverance. Oh, this is the cat with the camera. Oh, there's a dog in there somehow. He's chilling.
Yep.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Oh.
Nous l'avons pas mon staples.
Like with the whole.
Hello.
I punched the customer in the face.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. I walked past the wall.
Penny, did you do that? Huh? Was that you? Oh my
Really? I mean, really?
Yeah.
It's the final brain cell.
Yeah, as I'm sitting here, I feel like I'm gonna be in a funny cat video in a second. This one likes to get up on my desk.
Estoy loco. Estoy loco.
That's like. What are you doing? She's trying to help the cat get down. All right. It's cat elevator. Cat elevator. Cat elevator.
Forget what the fuck I just came home to. Goose.
Mary?
If you know someone doing the gritty who shouldn't be, we are here to help for the price of a...
Dramatic.
There's nothing there. Calm down. There's nothing there. What's wrong?
Oh no.
No.
Oh yeah, don't be copyrighted.
Oh my god! Jet!
Clipping them.
Bing.
Bo, stop. Bo, stop. Just do something with it. Come on, kill it, Bo. Is it dead? No, it's moving.
Did you have a nice bath?
Hilarious.
Less self-control, please.
Yeah, you're so handsome.
Go!
Say bye to everyone. Say bye to everyone. Fuck it.
Oh, dude.
You're so cute. Mwah. What happened? Oh my goodness.
It's one way to get exercise.
So this is my cat. His name is... Really? Really?
Come on.
Australia's not that dangerous. Our spiders are courteous enough above our headline. So unless you're
Nice.
Shaquille O'Neal, they're not going to bother you, really.
Oh my, it's my little boy. Oh my.
Everybody wants a pet bear. Jacob Pete's. Let's see Jacob Pete's out in the chat. What's up? All right. Congratulations, Jacob. So happy to see you back. We've been missing you. Yeah, Jacob and Lexington. Same night. I haven't seen Lexington in a while either.
Je suis choqué. Mais c'est quoi?
There you go.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us high.
Good. Now slowly pick it up. Very nice. And that, my friend, is how you ride your bike with your pet.
Don't cry, he's your buddy. Isn't it? You wanted one, didn't you?
Aw.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
You're up.
Say hi.
Aw.
Oh my goodness. Ai, que lindo.
Забыла.
Блин, здравствуй, конечно, Ой, полетели. Ой, офигеть. Держи.
Oh, there's bats?
Не больно. Ты что делаешь? Ну так больно мне.
You think this looks so tasty.
Why? She's a human. She's a human.
But to have a savannah, this is what you need to be prepared to do. Make breakfast with it on your back and that.
There's 3 of you. One of you get him. He's cleaning himself. The little baby is cleaning himself. And are you kidding me?
Right? It's like, what are you guys doing?
Okay.
Get to work. He had a plan. Really? Let's hope this isn't a copyrighted song either. You never can tell with these things, man.
Max, come here. Max, this way.
One time in the pool.
Are you kidding me?
Horses
Boys.
ring.
Zach is going to attempt to get Copper out. And Copper pushes away.
Uh-oh.
Every time he tries to get him.
Run!
Bear, are we sleeping?
That's the way to do it. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oof.
are you okay, Loop? That was karma.
Bear. You're supposed to be a golden retriever, a family dog. Can you please let your sister touch you?
It's comfortable. Oh, iguana time.
pretty cold.
That's so cute.
Hello, how are you? You'll eat out of my hand, I know it.
We're getting Shelly's
What are
mom
you
on these
doing?
parrots.
You gotta come inside, boy. It's freezing. Look at all the snow. Oh my god.
Oh, beautiful.
Enzo.
You guys did great. Teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Right? I feel that way sometimes too. The words just don't come out. I don't know if they trained the ducks to do that, but if it was spontaneous, it'd be even funnier. Does he got slippers on? It's like the dog's helping him. Cats. Looks like at a shelter or something. Yeah, it's at a shelter. All right. Even bears like to have fun. Slip sliding away.
When we steal someone else's Chewy, what do we say? Do you know?
Oh.
Yes, we say we're sorry.
Remember, I know you don't like to take your ear medicine, but we got to do it. Come here. Come here. Come on. Let me see.
That's when you call Uber.
Nona, got 1.5 cups of Dusquin for Bubs, and the same for Moose. Does everybody have what they ordered?
That's really good.
I don't know, guys. I don't think you're practicing your social distancing.
There she goes. She's dead.
Are you dead?
Just showed up at my garage. Apparently he likes the wood stove.
You mentioned a horse.
You know where you're at?
You walk out in your garage and there's a horse there.
Nibbles is cool, but he's a little crazy.
Nibbles. His name's Nibbles?
Yeah, he bit one of the other captains, so that's how he got his name. I could actually show you that video.
There. Papa! Get into it. Get into it.
That's a good swimmer right there.
Okay. Okay, cover your no. Okay. I won't cover your head. Okay. There you go. Okay. Night night.
Come on, you can do it. Go backwards if you have to. There you go. There you go. Oh, so scary. Okay, now hurry. Jump in mommy's bed.
Coco. ¿De quién está asustado? Ah, vale.
What's that? Oh. Is it in my seat, sir? That was a snowman. Oh no, that was just gross.
Does it meet your standard of surfing, chick? I think so.
Solamente en Cristo, solamente en Él, la salvación.
I'm not gonna take the baby.
Oh, he didn't make it.
All right. I'm gonna wrap it up here in a second. Last one, guys. We'll save the rest for next time. Oh yeah, and thank God they play copyrighted music or whatever. Weird music. I'm guessing like people have, well, it's bad to guess because you think people have enough sense these days not to put copyrighted music underneath their videos, but like this, like, I mean, you can find all kinds of AI and like non-copyrighted music just to put under here. It's just the same. So that's the one great thing about AI music, at least you can start getting around or getting away from their little content ID trap they have. Kangaroos drinking milk? What? Combing a bird? What? All right, guys. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so funny pet videos, funny animal videos. We've done it. And ladies and gentlemen, that was yeah. Awesome. Well, man, lots of good news, lots of funny videos. I understand Good Logic is live, but I've already set up the redirect to go over to the fundraiser on Cinegrand's channel. Right now we got let's see, Ozzy is on there, Kaiser's on there, Sissy's on there. I think Legal Vice has just left. Max Mira seems to be on there. And plenty of room to talk. So oh yeah, Digger's on there, of course, Cinegram, Fiery Red, and there's somebody, Miss K Grift. I have not met that person before, but they are there. So we're gonna do that. But we're gonna jam on out tonight. I got a very special jam on out. I don't think we've heard this one before, but let me see. Now don't be running off for the jam on out. Don't you dare. Oh, what am I looking for? I'm looking for this. I thought I created a new one. How did that work out? Where'd it go? Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. All right. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to start playing this a little bit before I actually go. Before I was just playing the whole song. But what I'm trying to do now is play it under, and then we come out for the big finale. So I'm trying to add a little bit to this. All right. So the way this is going to work is I got to do it like this, and then I got to do it like this. All right. And then here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, had a wonderful time this evening. Saw so many good people out here tonight. Thank you, HT, for being here. Elephant, Shelly, Wolfram, all the mods and all the great things they do. Mimsy, Jacob Peach, man, good to see you back. I have a story. Thanks for coming by. Oh man, so many great people. I think I saw James was here earlier. That's the sheriff of YouTube. Yeah, we had all kinds of great folks pop in tonight. I'm gonna make sure if I can go back as far as I can to figure out Nacho Kitty, of course. Nacho Kitty. Always great to see her. We've got who else we got here? Judge Maddie, Thomas Anderson, Inya, Suzanne. So many great folks all over the place. Nerd, Jukuro, Rio. I'm probably saying that wrong. But help me out next time. Lex, of course, Lex, man. So many awesome people. Thank you for the super chat again, Wolfram. Thank you for all the gifted memberships from Shelly and Lindsay. Appreciate that so much, guys. You guys rock the house. I will be back tomorrow night with Shelly, aka Talking Trash and Truth for Old School Watch Party Sunday. And thank you, HT, as well. I think it's pretty first. There you go. First and last. Did not last. And we will be going. We got to the documentary, kind of fairly recent documentary, last couple of years. That is Who Killed Nicole? It's to revisit the O.J. Simpson, but from a different perspective. Maybe one that you guys haven't heard before. It was new to me. And I think it's very interesting. It's an interesting take. And I would think Kelly and I both watched it one time, so we'll have some interesting things to say about it as well. And then we're going to watch Tommy Boy, Chris Farley, David Spade. All-time classic, but that Shelly hasn't seen. So that'll be a blast. Because if you know Tommy Boy is a funny movie, man. It was a funny movie. Yeah, man. That and more. And I'll see you then. I'm trying to decide. I think this week, I'm trying to decide for Unveiling Reality what I was going to do. I could go ahead and go to the Mud Flood. That's way out there. It's more of a debunking and a deprogramming because I don't know many people that actually subscribe to it. That's kind of why I haven't done it. It's a very, very small group of people who actually believe in the Mud Flood. Very hardly worth covering, other than it's interesting and kind of funny. We could go over Lindsay's rules for radicals, dude. That might be more pressing in terms of mind control, in terms of how all the control oligarchs operate to demoralize, destabilize, and bring our society to crisis, normalize their own agenda or domination. That part's real. Chemtrails aren't. But I mean, you got to be able to be open-minded and learn a lot once you get outside the establishment narrative. And that's what we do here. We are that nice, comfortable place between outside the establishment and not off the reservation. Absolutely. That's winning reality, and that's how we do it. And rigging the game. Bringing about a culture of solutions, intelligence, and preparedness, generationally speaking. All right, guys. I am out of here. Thank you guys so much for a wonderful, awesome evening. I may be on the panel. We'll see. I do like to hang out with Max, so he's over there. I might pop in for a minute or so. And like Wolfram says, thanks for tuning in and enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the streams. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button on the way before you go. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, keep on winning. Oh, and once again, happy Mother's Day, all the mothers out there. Oh yeah, Kylon. I want to say anyway.
This is a friendship that